Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday. How are we all doing? I hope you're having a good Tuesday evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it happens to be for you. Let's see, Starlight did nothing wrong with 100 bits, says, y'all are breathing manually now, by the way. Hi Hannah, I have the cutest boyfriend and he watches your streams too. He's basically perfect. That's very sweet. I'm happy for you both. Tucker White says, alright, call it now. Hannah, how do Chuds and conspiracy theorists spin this? Trump Organization found guilty on 17 counts, including scheme to defraud, conspiracy, criminal tax fraud, and falsifying business records. The QAnon people are going to say it's part of the show because 17 is the 17, Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet, so they're going to say it's a signal from Q. Other Chud people who aren't QAnon people are just gonna say it's persecution from the deep state. It's my guess. What else? Pseudosapien, thanks for 28 months, says there shouldn't be this many months worth of lunacy, yet here we are, and there's still so much. Oh, I know. I know. Vais, thanks for 9 months. That's a sub baby. This sub baby's name is going to be Gerard Butt-Turd. Gerard Butt-Turd. Deathguard Elite says, hey Hannah, I was told my dad about your response to his video. He's refused to watch it and gave me a video to send to you to watch that he claims proves that sovereign citizen works in court. You can send me the video and we'll watch it on a SovSit day, but tell him, I'll only watch it if he watches my response to the first thing. Hey, Profane Priestess says, hi Hannah, how do? I've had great fun working out the details of your guest appearance. The party is going to be seeing you tomorrow. Indeed, indeed, fun stuff. Whistle34 with some bits says, is the uptime answer to life, the universe, and everything? I like those books. Canadian Unicorn says, I have made a live stream. Let's start the train rolling. Glad you could make it. Gnome Pickles with 100 bits. Vias says, Vi like I, S like mess. Vias, thank you. Tucker White says, part of me hopes this won't lead to Trump's arrest. I doubt it will anyway, just so we get the impending shit show between him and Ron DeSantis. I mean, no one said you can't run for president from jail. Red Werewolf says, with 18 months, guess I gotta make even more cakes to support a second child now. This sub-baby's name is going to be... Morticia Columbo. That's not one of my better sub-baby names, but here we are. Deathguard Elite says, I was tempted to tell him that it would be fair for him to watch your video, but he got me distracted by getting angry with me because I rejected everything Russia Today said about World War II, that I had to explain the Pacific Front to him. Oh, your dad sounds like an interesting guy to talk to. I wish you much luck. By the way, either way, I'll watch the video he sent, but just tell him I won't watch it unless he watches my video to see if it'll get him to do it. I'll watch it either way, because I like content. MH Darkbeast says, howdy Hannah, did you see this amazing news? This person is suing Blair White. That's good. So is this like a slander suit or something? I'm not gonna watch the whole video right now. I'll watch it later, but... It's 27% to level 2 of the hype train. Defamation? Okay. Good luck. Really high bar for defamation in the United States. It would be nice, because Blair White's a big piece of crap. But, you know, we will see. So we have a bunch of stuff to take a look at today. Just all sorts of nonsense to choose from. Robots and clones and dinosaurs. It'll be good. Bum, 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 bum. Should you make the Cheddar Bay biscuits with extra sharp cheddar? Yes. Yes, you should. I wish I had Cheddar Bay biscuits. For that, can I get Cheddar Bay biscuits for recommending that you do use the extra sharp cheddar? Because I think I should get some Cheddar Bay biscuits. Might be worth watching during stream. Blair said Eli bullied someone to suicide and the person was still alive and she's never corrected it. Interesting. Gnome Pickle says, now I have a question. Are the dinosaurs secret clone robots, or are they being assembled as allies into a secret clone robot army? These are unaffiliated evil schemes. It's like we live in the Power Rangers universe. There are many different evil forces trying to take the planet in quick succession and or simultaneously. Puka thinks we're 300 bits, 46% to level 2. It is Tinfoil Tuesday, so if we get to level 5 on a hype train, we'll do all the tinfoil stuff. Get your bingo cards ready, by the way. We are playing bingo today. Oh god, Oliver. I think Oliver just pooped. Oliver just pooped. Why? That's what I get for putting his toilet in my office. It's my fault. Baja said she can smell it from downstairs. It's bad. Fennikagami says, have my bits and hopefully Blair will go down like Alex Jones. That would be nice. There's no way there's that amount of damages. It's provable. But still, any sort of consequences for her for being shitty would be ideal. Level 2 hype. Wait, was it level 1 hype train? Okay, horns then. Okay, let's get into it. Let's see where we will begin. Does this one not want to load now? There we go.
All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more.
Sure. The hair on his head was like wool, as white as snow. His eyes were like blazing fire. Revelation 1:14. Because Revelation was talking about Coca-Cola's interpretation of Santa Claus. Ooh, sub baby. Thanks, Occult Comics. Gerard Butt Turd. That one's stupid enough that it wraps back around and I'm proud of myself. So. Where did this... There it is. Ooh, how'd they do that effect? Overthought says, Santa hands out gifts for free. Santa equals communist. Santa equals Satan. That tracks.
The deities Baal and Tammuz were worshipped by the ancient Moabites under the names Chemosh and Molech. We see that the names changed, but the worship remained identical. The ancient Moabites would celebrate a public child mass, a public child sacrifice during the winter solstice during December 25th. Building up to this most anticipated time of year, all the parents would compile long wish lists that they would like to see in the next year. Then they would bring the infants that were born within that year to the idol Chemosh or Molech. The priest of Chemosh or Molech would stoke large fires inside.
This is according to their mortal enemies. Yeah, is this based on the Bible talking about them? Gnome Pickles says he's making a list. He's checking it twice. Gonna find out who's spreading nonsense or fact. Not exactly Theodore Geisel, but you know, sure.
Of the hollow metal idol of the deity. The parent would bring their child screaming to the lap of this deity and lay their child in the lap of Molech, who wore the Phrygian cap that we see that Santa Claus wears to this day, the same cap that Mithra wore, and they would lay their...
Wait, why does he think Moloch is depicted as wearing the... Moloch? How do you spell it? Molech. Moloch. Because, like, normally the depictions I've seen of him are of a bull, so I don't understand where he's getting the cap from.
Screaming child in the arm of this deity while they begin to profess their long list of desires for the year. Now today we don't see that people are sacrificing their children to Molech, but we do see that they bring their screaming infants, their screaming children, and lay them into the lap of a complete stranger dressed up like a mighty one who they call Santa Claus.
I know that it's a pretty popular pop culture like tradition to show babies and kids crying from Santa Claus, because of course that does happen. I've seen that happen. But like, most kids do like Santa Claus. Especially a little bit older kids that are still young enough to go visit Santa Claus. They like him. They like to do this. Not every kid is afraid of Santa Claus.
And this child is usually screaming their guts out because they're so afraid of this man, and they probably...
Like, the depiction, like, the framing of this is weird, too. It would be like saying, taking your kid to see Mickey Mouse at Disney World. That's a total stranger. Like, I mean, yeah, but, like, they're an employee. Like, they're, you know, they're not really a stranger. I assure you, this mall has a copy of that guy's ID on file. They did a background check. Chibbers the Squirrel says, something tells me this guy had a traumatic experience crying at a mall Santa when he was young and never got over it. Truly, the greatest origin story.
Since the darkness and the demonic forces that are at work. Children.
Yes, I know Santa Claus is based off of St. Nicholas.
Infants hate Santa Claus, and the proof is in the pictures.
As someone who was formerly a child, no, I really, really liked Santa and all the stuff that went along with Santa stuff. I loved Santa, you know, I was a kid.
Now, of course, after a few years, the child will begin to love Santa Claus.
And, like, even as an adult, like, I like the concept of Santa as a, you know, holiday iconography thing. He's a cool folklore character.
And look at Santa Claus as an all-supreme, all-wise, all-knowing, giving deity of prosperity. Just as the ancient...
He's not a deity. He's just like, you know, a holiday mascot. He's a symbolic representation of a season, of an attitude of giving, of charity. It's human shit, you know, we make up things and concepts and characters in our fiction and collective pop culture in order to define and express things about ourselves and the worlds around us. This isn't new, it's not demonic, it's not evil, it's just how human beings are. We're storytellers. It's how we understand the world around us.
Moabites.
It's Marvel canon that Santa is a mutant. Hey, and let's be fair, not just a mutant, Santa in the Marvel universe is an Omega level mutant. Not joking. Omega level means, like, could destroy everyone on Earth immediately if they wanted to.
Looked at Molech and Chemosh. He knows when you are sleeping, and he knows when you are awake.
If I remember correctly, there was a whole comic, I think it was maybe a short in an anthology book about Marvel Christmas stuff. But I remember reading every year Santa Claus breaks through Doctor Doom's security system and fights a bunch of Doom bots just so he can, like, deliver coal to Victor Von Doom. It's cute.
In fact, he is all-knowing. He is immortal. He has no beginning and no end. He compiles a list of names on a scroll for the good and the bad children. He rewards the good children with gifts, and he punishes the bad children with lumps of coal, reminiscent
Yeah, he's like a fae creature. He's like a weird fae.
of the flames of Molech. He answers their prayers and their petitions. He flies on a magical chariot, just like Mithra, Sol Invictus, and Odin before him. In fact, he is a deity of prosperity, worshipped by the people of the world.
Again, no one worships Santa. Like, again, I don't know who's in earshot in terms of young children. I would hope you're not listening to this in the same room as young children, because of the shit we cover on this show. I just said shit. But, you know, no one's worshipping Santa. That's not how this works. We're all adults.
And it's amazing that Christian parents would put this idol, this image, against the face of Yahuwah and teach their children that gifts come from this magical, all-knowing being, making him a deity. And they will lie to their children and tell them that he exists. And while they're young, they will believe it with all of their heart until finally they are crushed under the realization that
I know I'm being super protective about this, but I'll explain why in a minute. I'm just pausing in case anyone needs to mute this or whatever, if there are any children about. H-Bears says, some of us worship Santa. Every year we sacrifice cookies and milk to the almighty present deity. And Fennikagami says, why do these conspiracy Christians make everything they hate so way cooler than anything they think is cool? I know, right? Alright, I'm going to talk about the thing now. Okay, so he's going to talk about how, like, Santa Claus isn't real. I found out Santa wasn't real because my teacher just straight up told me that and basically made fun of me for still believing in Santa. In whatever grade it was. I might have been late for still believing in Santa. I genuinely don't know. But either way, I thought that was kind of rude, and I think that's rude to do that to kids. And I was a little disappointed at the time, and sad, but, like, you know, that's okay. It's okay for kids to learn things about the world and be disappointed. I think that can actually be a pretty good learning experience for a kid, that, like, hey, sometimes your perspective on how the world works is going to change, sometimes pretty fundamentally. And that can be hard, but, like, this is a little version of that maybe helps you learn to cope and learn to accept that you can learn and change. I don't know.
That their parents had tricked them, and now they will question everything that their parents will ever teach them about the scriptures because of this innocent white lie, as they say. Santa and his elves have a very dark past.
Color by Emmy says, glad you didn't snap and kill a classmate like Jack Chick warned us about. Oh yeah, I forgot that was part of his one of his tracks. Mr. Whiskers, thanks for gifting a sub.
Santa is identified as an elf in most of the world. The Celts
He's like a fey creature.
believed that the elves were witches and wizards, and they were
I
identified
don't know about that one. Do you just mean in the sense that they're magical creatures? That doesn't make them witches and wizards.
by their pointy or Phrygian caps, and they were the
What? Those aren't witch hats?
teachers of the dark arts. Webster's dictionary describes an elf as a wandering spirit, a fairy, a hobgoblin, an imaginary being which our rude ancestors supposed to inhabit unfrequented places and in various ways to affect mankind. Also, an evil spirit or a devil. Satanist and
Did you miss the part where it said fictional character? They're not real.
New Age guru H.P. Blavatsky states that elves are disembodied spirits used in magic and sorcery and are the principal agents in seances. In
Magic isn't real. Why do you think magic is real?
places like Austria,
Although this gives me like mad nostalgia vibes from like late 90s Christmas at my grandparents' house with the little like ring with the candles in it. Why does that look familiar to me?
Hungary, Germany, Italy, and elsewhere,
Gnome Pickles says, on the 12th day of Christmas, Santa brought me the Necronomicon and helped me contact the dead.
Santa Claus is identified by his original name, which is Sinterklaas.
I mean, yeah, but he was also Saint Nicholas. There were different... Santa is an amalgamation of various regional winter festival myth characters, many of which originate from Saint Nicholas, but it all kind of coalesced later in America, mostly because different European countries had different sort of similar traditions that became amalgamated into the commercial version of Santa Claus that we know today in like Coca-Cola commercials and stuff.
And there are variations of Sinterklaas throughout Europe. Some variations have Sinterklaas riding on a magical flying goat. Other versions have him riding on a magical flying white horse. Either way, he is always accompanied by dark helpers. Usually they are referred to as the Krampus. And
H-Beard says this guy should watch himself. St. Nicholas had no problem beating people up.
the Krampus is a half-goat, half-man demon that goes with Sinterklaas from house to house. In the 1500s, Sinterklaas became a kind old man who gave gifts and flew on his magical chariot and was accompanied by these dark helpers or blackjacks. He was Christianized as a saint by the name of Nicholas, supposedly based on the saint.
St. Nicholas was a real person who was Christian. He wasn't Christian, he just was Christian. The real guy who lived in real life. GamerG says, ah yes, 'tis the time of year to remove the mystery cubes from beneath the festive cones and tell tales of large red intruder. Maybe Santa is evil.
Of Myra.
Another sub baby from Occult Comics. Morticia Columbo. Alright, my name was lazy, but it resulted in one of the greatest pieces of art ever known to humans. So, I guess it worked out. Where did it go? Forrest Espion says, honestly, fundamentalist Christians feel threatened by any popular culture celebration because they want their version of Christianity to rule over every part of culture, art. Thoughts, Hannah? I would tend to agree. I think the secularization of Christmas in America has been something that far-right Christians, when they're talking about the war on Christmas and everyone laughs at it because everything's Christmas like in mid-October now, what they're saying is a war on Christmas is they want Christmas to not be secular Christmas. They want Christmas to be fundamentalist Christian Christmas, where you don't even necessarily talk about Santa. you like just use it to celebrate Jesus' birth, and everything is mangers and stars and magi and all sorts of shit.
In Turkey, who was legendary. He would leave gifts under the sacred tree on his birthday if you had been good, but if you had not, his demons, his Krampuses, would either abduct you or beat you with sticks. St. Nicholas supposedly captured Satan and called him by various names: the Krampus, Baalzebub, Zwartdite, or the Black Peter, and Neck Ruprecht. And these were just some of the names. In some of the cultures, Santa Claus was dropped altogether, and the only remaining figure was the Krampus, which was kept and known as Weihnachtsmann, which means Santa Claus in the Germanic languages. In other words, in some cultures, Santa Claus is known to be Satan himself, who
What?
is the Krampus. Now let us look at some clips of Santa Claus in Europe. But be warned, some of these images may be disturbing.
I am disturbed thoroughly. That's close enough to Dies of Laughter. I'm not in tears, but like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So that's on the low end of Hand of Dies of Laughter. I am so disturbed. Belschnickel! I declare thee impish! Maps and Mimic says, yet again, I've walked into something. What the hell is going on? I'm so disturbed.
Ich bin der heilige Nikolaus. Und singen dieses Jahr. Die Braven, wie wir dich heute belohnen. Falls doch jemand schlimm war, für den hätte ich die Krampusse mitgebracht. Oh, Ruhe, Krampusse.
They're just in costumes! Like, literally, this whole video is just this guy being like, warning, disturbing, this culture is different from mine. Why are they dressed like fucking goat people? Like, it looks fun. It's fine. Who cares? Like, what about this is supposed to be disturbing? They're just in, like, costumes, playing. They're playing around. There's nothing sinister about anything being shown. They're celebrating Christmas. Oh, that's a cool outfit. It's like Halloween and Christmas had a baby. H-Beard says that Krampus had a shaved butt. That was kind of disturbing. It's true. These are honestly pretty rad costumes. Like, the kids are having fun. Clearly this is like a normal thing within their culture, so to them it's not like... It's probably spooky and maybe scary on the same level as a kid in America might be scared by someone's spooky Halloween costume, but it's not like evil. It just looks like a fun thing. Stone Corbell says, I bet this guy thinks Halloween costumes are just terrifying. Who wants to dress up like fey creatures and walk around the town? Woo! Sounds like fun. Yeah, we can count this as satanic on the bingo card.
And these are the satanic origins of the Anglo-sized Santa Claus, who is Sinterklaas, and his elves.
Well, shouldn't you be happy then that people in America don't celebrate the way those other people do? Like, we have Santa, but we don't have the stuff that you think is demonic. Shouldn't that be good? Tucker White says, if this guy wanted disturbing, then he should have shown the blackface elves. Oh, yes. I'm very familiar. Forrest Espion says the first guy to dress as Krampus was a furry. Hannah, you should raise money for you to get a Krampus furry suit made for a pre-Christmas stream. Furry suits cost thousands of dollars and take a really long time to make. So I don't think we could get one made in a week, or to get thousands of dollars for one. Purple Nickel, thanks for 24 months, says 2 years of tinfoil. Love you, Hannah. Love you too. Little Miss Numimon says Santa Claus.
Goat-headed demons. And this is important to understand because the goat-headed mighty one is worshipped in the religion of Satanism and in pagan worship by the name Baphomet. He is also called the Horned One or the Stag Deity. Sometimes he is depicted with the horns of the goat, and sometimes he is depicted with the horns of the reindeer. In the 1970s, the Second Vatican Council stated that no Roman Catholic bishop by the name of Saint Nicholas ever existed. This is historical because people will often say, well, Saint Nicholas was a real person, but the
I mean, look, I don't know if Vatican II specifically said that, but, like, I'm pretty sure historians disagree on that point. I think the entire point of Vatican II was to overhaul the public image of the Catholic Church because it was fucked at the time. That's when they decided that Mass could be given in tongues other than Latin, to tell you how up-to-date they were at the time. Anti-Pretzel says, oh no, someone doesn't worship Christmas in a purely Christian way. That is to say, destroying all cultural identity of the people celebrating because they don't fit within a narrative. Oh no! Stone Corbell says, the goat-headed demon isn't even described in the Bible. Nowhere in the Bible does it in any way describe Satan like this. It was just a ploy to demonize old religions. Tea with Goblins says, Grub von Krampus, Hannah in chat. If you're wanting more Yuletide cryptids, I recommend Welsh Mary Lil... Oh, God. Mari Lloyd, the festive horse skull who comes to your house to challenge you to a rap battle. Oh, like in the most recent Assassin's Creed game. I remember that, because I played the Assassin's Creed game that came out. Check out this Krampus fursuit. Okay. That's a pretty good one. Behold Baphomet. Oh my god, we're getting a lot of links. First name Punch a Number says, all this is making me wish I had a picture to show you guys of the time I did of a cross-stitch ornament that says Hail Santa and has a pentagram in festive red and green. That sounds cool.
Songs on this Christmas.
Yeah, that kid looks like, what the like, that kid had to learn at least, like, 2 shapes today, and he's like, I've had enough. I don't need to learn any other weird shit about this planet today.
Second Vatican Council states no such person ever existed. They go on to state that the legends attributed to Saint Nicholas had no...
Vatican II also ditched a bunch of other saints, including Saint Christopher for travelers, so they just got rid of a bunch of saints. Were they just trying to streamline? Were there too many? It was getting confusing. It's like Pokemon. They gotta shed some.
Christian origin and probably came from pagan tradition.
I think 3rd gen saints are the best.
So therefore, the character known as Saint Nicholas is a myth. He is nothing more than a pagan deity who has been revamped and Christianized, just like Christianity has...
Wasn't he at the Council of Nicaea? Like, isn't he a documented person who was involved in one of the most significant events in the history of Christianity?
Christianized Christmas. The Oxford English Dictionary states that...
Like, the Council of Nicaea, for the record, is where they got together and put the Bible together, where they took all the different scriptures that were around at the time and decided what gets to be part of the Bible and what doesn't.
Devil is called Satan. Lucifer,
Only Gen 1 saints are best saints. Hipster.
Beelzebub, and even in popular rustic speech, he is called Old Nick.
Way up north where the air gets cold, there's a tale of it.
Also agrees that Nick is the devil. Old Nick was a well-known British name for Satan. The Greek name Nicholas means the conqueror of the people. Revelation chapter 2 verse 15 reads, "So you also have those who adhere to the teaching of the Nicolaitans or the Nicolaitans, which teaching I hate." The teaching of the Nicolaitans came from their teacher Nicholas, who taught them...
For some reason, I always liked those little things for reading scrolls that, like, they look like they have a little hand on them. I always wanted one.
that it was okay to eat food
I never read scrolls, so I have no purpose for it, but...
sacrificed to idols and to commit whoring, to make the children of Israel stumble. This is most likely the origin of the saint called Nicholas of the Roman Catholic Church. In the 1600s, a series of plays were developed starring a character known as Robin Goodfellow, who was a half-man, half-goat demon.
Oof, that P.O. box is definitely not good anymore, just for the record. I actually need to remove that command and maybe get a new P.O. box, because that P.O. box... Yeah, we don't have it anymore, I don't think.
In the History of a Hobgoblin, author Alan W. Wright reveals that Robin itself was a medieval name for the devil, and that Robin's trademark laugh was ho ho ho. During the 1600s, this goat-headed devil had already revealed the trademark laugh that Santa Claus would later take on.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Well, I'm sold. I'm way more into Santa now. Joke's on them. I'm into monster boys. And women. Basically tieflings. Just tieflings. Yeah, and tieflings are good. Shape of Water is a good movie. Gnome Pickles says, "Sir, can you reveal for us what name doesn't mean devil in your view? I think that'll be a shorter list."
Yes, reptilian people are real. They are interbred with us. They live among us, with us, and inside us.
Hold on, that's a little quiet. Let me turn it up.
Yes, reptilian people are real. They are interbred with us. They live among us, with us, and inside us.
I think I'd notice.
This is the Great Awakening. Greetings, dear ones. Today's recording date is September 27th, 2021, although this is a timeless message. And I opened it with greetings, dear ones, because that's how Cryon opens his messages. And this is about Cryon, Kryon. If you're not following Cryon messages on YouTube, wherever you can find them, or anywhere you can find them. Right now they're still on YouTube. Go find them, because they're amazing messages. They are from our galactic brothers and sisters, or they're the messages from God, really. They're messages from a being named Cryon that is channeled through Lee Carroll. And if you know,
Believes they talk to aliens regularly on the on the bingo card.
not into that kind of stuff, it doesn't really
And reptilians, of course.
matter whether you believe it or not. It's real. And there are a lot of fantastic channelers out there, and this is the best. These two have been together. They're partners. They've been together for 30
As a 100% real lizard person, can you confirm how accurate this is at the end? No, that's not us. We're not contacting anyone. It might be the gnomes. The gnomes like to pretend to be lizard people to fuck with humans sometimes. They're kind of assholes. They make good cookies, though. H-Bird says, best ho-ho-ho ever.
Now
I have a machine gun. Ho, ho,
Ho. Ho.
rip to the man himself. Tea with Goblin says, scene. Hannah sits in her dusty library, witch hat casting a shadow over her face and masking her expression of grim concentration. In front of her lies an unfurled scroll being deciphered by line with the help of an ornate silver pointer. The text is ancient and esoteric, but the translation has been a successful... Oh, what's this? I'm a tall building filled up with so many men. Huh, is that a plane crashing into my north tower? It's so big. It's Femboy 9/11. No. Red Werewolf says... By the way, Hannah, did you see that the man who was nearly my governor, was posting about chemtrails on Twitter today? No. I'm glad it's nearly governor and not governor. Gnome Pickles says, hey, mean but accurate, we cannot help it. Pretending to be a lizard is so much fun.
30 years, 30-some
Is that 9/11 out of nowhere? No, because it was someone in the chat doing it.
years. And it's everyone who's in the Lightworker realm agrees Cryon is it's pretty serious messages. He knows a lot. He knows everything. And it's really interesting, and it's fabulous, and it all ties into spirituality and Jesus and in our real purpose, and everything that's been hidden from us. There's so much hidden knowledge. Be open to it, because it coincides. If you're a Christian and you love Jesus, it totally coincides. Don't be afraid. The Cabal wrote the Bible. They've lied to us about a lot. We're getting real information now, and here it is. I'm going to read something.
What's the opposite of the Bible is the only source of wisdom? Thinly veiled anti-Semitism on the bingo card. Logart says, Daddy, jet fuel can't melt stripped knee-high socks, arm warmers, and cat ears. Oh, whoa. There wasn't an oh-whoa. I added that one for free.
That was on
You're welcome.
Cryon's YouTube channel recently. There's a community page now, so you can write text. And this is what I found. And this completely lines up with my ET transmissions. If you haven't seen those videos, wherever you can find my videos, ET transmissions, they are messages I got directly. I didn't channel them. They wrote to me. They asked me if I meditated. I said no. I suck at it. And they wrote to me. And it was long, and it took a while, and I made these videos out of everything they wrote to me, and it was absolutely astonishing information. And it completely lines up with this. This is encapsulated. And what it really summed up was that humans are food for our overlords, the ruling elites. Literally.
Is that doesn't understand architecture? I didn't even understand her. It's like my eyes glazed over. She's just speaking like word salad. Tucker White says, lady, this isn't NPR. You don't need to whisper.
Food. They enslave us. Food in every way, shape, and form. There are a demon attached.
Let me go back a little bit to determine.
YouTube channel recently. There's a community page now, so you can write text. And this is
Yes, talk to aliens regularly.
what I found. And this completely lines up with
Aliens.
my ET transmissions. If you haven't seen those videos, wherever you can find my videos, ET transmissions, they are messages I got directly. I didn't channel them. They wrote to me. They asked me if I meditated. I said, no, I suck at it. And they wrote to me. And it was long, and it took a while, and I made these videos out of everything they wrote to me, and it was absolutely astonishing information. And it completely lines up with this. This is encapsulated. And what it really summed up was that humans are food for our overlords, the ruling elites. Literally food. They enslave us. Food in every way, shape, and form. There are demon attachments that we can't see that feed off of our fear and our sickness. And that's why they keep us in fear and keep us in war and keep us sick. They do that on purpose. They've had the cure for everything all this time. They cause all of it. It's not just COVID.
Interesting and persistent. I've talked about this before, but there's this prevalent trope within conspiracy theories that the natural state of the world should be utopian, that humans somehow naturally will just get along and everything will be peaceful and wonderful, and that people aren't naturally selfish in any way, and that we, just, if only these evil people weren't around, then the natural state would reestablish itself. It is only through the actions of these, othered individuals, the them in conspiracy theories, often, unfortunately, anti-Semitic, as we see with people like Kanye West and a lot of other conspiracy theorists. It's a way of trying to simplify the world. The world is a complex place where there are millions of different issues, both personal and systemic, that need to be addressed at every level, at every strata of every avenue of life, because humans are flawed, and unfortunately a lot of people are selfish or conniving, or people just have innate biases that make things harder for other people, right? It's complicated, but people don't like things to be complicated. They want to be able to solve the issues immediately. So that's how you wind up in conspiracy theories like this, where this them is just preventing everything from being nice and easy and simple and peaceful. And if we just dealt with them, then it would be better. Unfortunately, this is also rhetoric that's been used pretty famously in the past to demonize groups of people, and then use it to try and justify genocide. So, yeah, conspiracy thinking is sometimes funny to listen to, but it's also really dangerous. It's really sad.
That's just the beginning. All of it. They've had the cure for cancer all this time. All right, they are the cancer. It's real. It's not a metaphor.
I believe sci-fi technology actually exists on the bingo card. Like, the entire concept of a cure for cancer is kind of wrong. Cancer isn't one disease. It's a classification of many different parts of the body. Like a thing that might be a good treatment for one kind of cancer might not be good for a different kind of cancer. Cancer is just a general classification for any time cells are multiplying uncontrollably. Like, that's what cancer is, but it can do different things in different parts of the body. Mike Max says, if the secret government, aka them, are already in control, and has been in control for a long time, what's the point of hiding in the dark and making people think they're free? Yeah, it doesn't make a ton of sense, although I would guess they would argue it makes more sense to work from the shadows, because if you're out in the open, it's easier to become a target. Just from what I've heard from other conspiracy theorists.
And they are malevolent ETs, archons, whose puppets are reptilians and Dracos. Dracos and reptilians. Dracos are the stronger, more powerful, like the Queen, like all the front people, the Rothschilds. They would be Dracos. The reptilians would be all the hissing people that we find on the far left. Okay, but here's the message that was in the ET transmissions, but not as extensively.
Once again, coming back to this idea of these sort of ideas being prevalent in fascism and having previously been used to demonize people to the point where you feel it is justified to kill and genocide them or whatever, or forcibly, stifle dissent from people of particular political persuasions or whatever. In her mind, all what she considers to be liberals are these aliens now in her head. This is a pretty extreme example, literally thinking that they are alien beings. But being an extreme example, she believes and has dehumanized them to the extent that she believes that people on the left are alien beings that are not even human and worth the consideration of being a fellow person. So we just need to stop them, anyone left of her, presumably, and then the world will be great. This is just literal fascism. Literal fascism.
Or as powerfully or as impactfully or succinctly as this Cryon message, which is a really important thing, and it ties everything together into why we need to drop negative thoughts from our mind, drop old vendettas and revenge, and why we have to raise the vibrations.
We need to drop old vendettas and revenge for our new vendettas and revenge against the alien leftists. That tracks.
And stay out of fear-mongering, anything that lowers our vibrations, because
no more fear-mongering. We need to save all of our fear for the reptoids.
You'll find out why in just a second. You must have heard, here it is, here's the bombshell. You must have
Purple Pickle, thanks for following.
heard that we have reptilian brains. Well, it's true. We've been interbreeding with reptilian.
When people say we have reptile brains, they're speaking metaphorically. They don't literally mean, like, we're still reptiles and really, like, have a part of our brain that is reptilian. They're talking about the fact that we have, quote-unquote, base instincts.
Reptiloids for a long time. So we can have human souls in bodies that are, that have been tainted. And here it is right here. It's just 5 screenshots. I'm going to read to you now. And I want you to really think about this, because we all have this in us in varying degrees. And this is what we have to work on so that we can ascend to 5D Earth. And that's real, too. You got to look into it. I'm not the only one talking about it. It's
5D on the bingo card. 5D, not 5G. 5D, as in dog.
all over the place. Look into Ascension, 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 to 5D Earth. Or just look up 5D Earth. It's happening. It's real. It doesn't matter what you say or if you call it blasphemy.
We did not have 9/11 out of nowhere. No. Mike Mack says, I wonder what conspiracy theorists think of Inside Job. Can't wait for season 3. I still haven't seen the first couple seasons. I know I've heard it's good, and it's right up my alley.
Or if you scream and yell and kick and call it crazy, nothing can stop what is coming, as Q said. Nothing.
What happened to the fourth dimension? I think the pop cultural idea that the fourth dimension is time has become prevalent enough that conspiracy theorists that get most of their information on what they think science is from science fiction films, that they consider their thing the fifth dimension, because if they said fourth dimension, they think it'd be time, because they think the fourth dimension is time.
Q is the Galactic Federation.
And time can be thought of as a fourth dimension in the sense that it is a scale that you can use to determine a location if you could somehow move through time, right? I have this location, and this location was here yesterday, and it'll be here tomorrow, but that's not really relevant to me personally, you know, because you can only move linearly in one direction. Anyway, there's a lot of science fiction that's like, the fourth dimension is time or whatever. Also, fifth dimension is what Twilight Zone said, and a lot of these people are boomers, so.
Of light. And
no disrespect to the Twilight Zone. I own every episode of the Twilight Zone on Blu-ray. The original series, the 80s series, the 2000s series, and both seasons of the Jordan Peele series. So that's fun. Although, the some of them are on DVD because they don't have Blu-rays. The 80s series and the 2000s series are on DVD. Blu-ray on the bingo card, yes. The awful 2000 series. Yeah, Forrest Whitaker hosted a couple seasons of The Twilight Zone in the early 2000s. It was quite bad. Favorite Twilight Zone episodes? Oh, that's tough. Time Enough at Last is... A lot of them are going to be stereotypes. A lot of them are going to... Not even stereotypes. A lot of them are going to be cliche because the Twilight Zone created so many classic episodes that became tropes and other things that it's just going to feel like eye-rolling. Like, you're going to think I don't know Twilight Zone things. There are deep cuts I could get into, but just, like, top ones. Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. Time Enough at Last. I Dream of Jeannie is actually a pretty good one. I like that one. It's the one where he's Hitler. Oh, He's Alive is a great one. The one about Hitler being alive, at least metaphorically. It's a Good Life, or whatever it's called. It's great. Alright, back to the thing.
And Jesus is with Q. They're both Pleiadian. Ready? Here we go. I'm going to read this to you now. This is from Cryon. Greetings, my dear beloved children. As a follow-up to my previous message today, I would like to focus on the energy mechanism of the interaction between different collective consciences. It will help those of you who have two souls neighboring to better understand the processes occurring in you and to learn to guide them in the direction you need. Let us consider it referring to the collective conscience.
Favorite Outer Limits episode? I haven't seen the original Outer Limits series. Please don't judge me. But I really liked the 90s, early 2000s series. My favorite episodes of that are the one where the guy is in, like, a post-apocalypse and he has, like, a whole holographic, like, family and stuff that he uses to stay sane. That one's good. I also liked the one where humanity was split, where, like, one group of people would live 24 hours, and then the other group would live 24 hours, and they'd go into hypersleep or whatever. And the Transporter episode is good, too. The one where... I don't know how to describe it without spoiling it.
Is most significant for Earthlings, human and reptiloid. Those two collective consciences are in constant interaction and experience mutual influence at that. Why does this happen? Before all, because they have been interweaving for millennia. It happened unnoticeably since the crossbreeding of the human and reptile races has resulted in appearing of a huge number of not only mixed families on Earth with pure human souls living side by side with reptiloids, but even in the fact that these souls have learned to coexist even in one physical body.
Feels a little bigoted, what she's saying. I'm hoping she just means literal reptiles and she's not correlating this with anything else, but I'm kind of guessing she is correlating it with other things, and by other things I mean I'm guessing she's racist and is like a really bad person who thinks there's something wrong with interracial marriage or something.
You know, people would say, oh, it's got its good side, its bad side, you know?
Like, even the term, I don't like the term interracial marriage. It feels gross to me. Like, the term interracial feels so fucking dehumanizing, you know what I mean? Ooh. Mr. Whiskers says she hasn't mentioned why this is a problem, though. No, she hasn't.
I've said that about people. And of course, such neighborhood could not make an impact both on human and reptiloid collective conscience, yet their impact on each other was not equivalent. So, and of course, such neighborhood could not but make an impact both on human and reptiloid collective conscience, yet their impact on each other was not equivalent. While collective reptiloid conscience, by means of different manipulations, successfully reduced pure human souls to its level, collective human conscience could not pull reptiloids to its spiritual level because of the curtailed energy structure of these creatures. Therefore, time worked for reptiloids. They forced humanity into slavery more and more, into their low vibration world where they could easily rule people, exercising total control over them. And with the best will in the world, people could not cultivate their life principles of love and good in them, since reptiloids lack subtle sense organs capable of catching and taking in these high vibration divine energies. This is exactly the main reason why...
I just love when they use the word energies generically like that. Like, what do they mean, energies? Energy is just the capacity to do work. Like, what kind of energy are you talking about?
Until recent, collective reptiloid conscience has dominated
They mean magic. They mean magic, but they can't say magic because people would laugh at them even harder.
over collective conscience of people. I'll read that again.
Hydrate.
This is exactly the main reason why, until recent, collective reptiloid conscience has dominated over collective conscience of people. Why has the well-established order of things on Earth failed now? How have people managed to get out
What well-established order? Again, fucking yikes.
of this monstrous control that's been ruling the world for centuries? There are two reasons
Exogenous? Okay, interesting.
for this.
I'll read the whole thing for context. In anthropology, sociology, we call marriage between any two social groups, class, ethnicity, religion, etc. as exogenous. Okay.
One is your planet's transition to a new era. The new high vibration energies assisting her that are showering her with full flowing streams and dissolving the low vibration energies that have held sway
Does that just basically mean, like, outside of group? I assume? I don't know the specific definition of genus.
over her until recently. And the other reason is arrival of a huge number of most ancient and lightest souls at Earth
Outside of originating. Gotcha.
who have ever lived here, with the mission of humanity to rescue from reptiloid slavery and assistance of it during transition to a new level of its evolution. It is them who shook up collective human conscience to such an extent that thousands of people began to wake up and get out of reptiloid programs, control that have already taken root in their conscience and subconscious. On Earth, there has arrived the very apocalypse that was much spoken about in sacred books, and that, as a matter of fact, is a revelation of the truth, unveiling the crime activity of the alien civilizations that seized Earth. So now there is a vigorous energy confrontation between collective human conscience and collective conscience of reptiloids. And it is in the fact
If this lady, like, has kids and grandkids, do you think they know she does this?
that high vibration energies generated by the people who revived from the centuries-old dormancy force out collective reptiloid conscience from the planet of Earth. The conscience now unable
Oh, yeah, word salad for sure. We'll go over the bingo card after this video.
to exist
We
in a new
have quite a bit of stuff, I think.
reality of Earth that, slow but sure, is entering the energy space of the fourth and later on the fifth.
Oh, the title, by the way, is Reptiloids Interbreed with Humans.
dimensions. Here we will stop today, loving you endlessly. Father Absolute spoke to you. That's what's happening, you guys. And you can kick and scream all you want, but that's what's happening, and why not get wise to it? Any information junkie out there should want to know the truth. Don't you want to know the truth? We're unveiling or ripping the Band-Aid off everything all the way around. And at the top of the Draco Reptilian control, all roads lead to Rome, is the Catholic Church. Hey, Steve Bannon and Bannon War Room and Jack Pizovic, you guys are going to learn a really hard lesson. We're taking down everything, not just the CCP. We're taking it all down. The Catholic Church is coming down too, so you're going to have to start to...
She's gonna take down the Chinese Communist Party and the Vatican? Those are two quite powerful entities. Devil Summoner Marie with 21 months says, one of my favorite video games, Persona 2 Innocent Sin, has a plot about a curse that brings rumors to life. Sadly, there's a group of weird conspiracy theorists in the city, so a huge part of the game is about how the Paladin aliens have a base under the city where they're hiding from their enemies, the people of Nibiru, and halfway through the game, Hitler and the Nazis show up to steal the Paladin technology to start World War III. Sounds interesting.
Wake up. Don't be crybaby sissy boys and don't hang on to it anymore. Get rid of Liz York, kick her to the curb. She's reptilian. You can even tell by her face. She's total reptilian. Okay? Catholic Church is completely corrupt. It's not going to survive. Everybody's got to get on board. This is happening, whether you like it or not. So come on, let's go. Everybody. It's exciting. It's fascinating. It's interesting. It all makes sense. Okay? We've heard the lizard thing. We've heard the reptilian thing for a long time. Well, it's true. It's true.
You think this lady and Gina could be friends? First Name Punch Number says, as a recovering Catholic, I wish it were possible to take down the Catholic Church just like that. And Stone Corbell says, ah yes, corruption, a thing that always ensures governments fall.
And so the Queen is a reptile. She'd be a Draco. Henry Kissinger would be a Draco. They're all our enemies.
That's
They
true.
eat They rape, torture.
Gina's many things, but I don't think Gina's racist at all. Gina, I think, is quite good-natured, so I don't think she would get along with this lady.
And cannibalize children, okay? You don't have any more time or choice to not believe us. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. This is where all the 8 million missing children go a year, to the extreme side. They've been interbreeding with us for a long time, and they've been doing a lot to us. Mind control, and they were just about to take total, complete control. Okay? The jab with all the nanoparticles, yeah. Mark of the beast. Track you. Little computers. 5G activated. All right, everybody, I love you. Let's do this. We're taking everything down. All the old structures are coming down. If you're religious, you're going to have to start to open up to Jesus being with Q and real Christ consciousness coming. Everything is coming down. Islam, Hebrew, Catholics, everything. Not just the swamp in D.C., not just the CCP. It's all coming down, all of it. We're redoing it all. We're rebuilding Earth. Let's go. Let's really go. Let's move.
Remember what I said earlier about conspiracy theories allowing people to become mentally comfortable with fascism? I think I feel pretty justified in having said that now.
Really move. Come on, Dad, and catch up. For God's sakes, you were so slow on this Catholic thing.
Ooh, the creepy wink.
Yes, reptilian people are real. They are interbred with us. They live among us, with us, and even inside us.
She bookended repeating that. Okay. Oh my goodness. She posted today. She says, "Merry Christmas, watch for the orbs."
Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas. It's December 6th, 2022. Michelle Ann Tiller here. You can see the theme. Time to wake up. This is mostly dedicated to everyone on True Social, because I am now on True Social. And I'll tell you something funny. They restricted my accounts more than other people I've seen around me. I don't know what's going on exactly or who did it, but I can guess. But I can't swear or say a lot of things, and I've been even trying to get around it, and they're not letting me. You can't even believe, you have to see it from my perspective behind the scenes. When I first got...
What kind of terrible things do you have to be saying on Donald Trump's social media site that they're banning you or suspending you or hiding your whatevers?
Almost everything I said was content under review, content under review, content under review. Like, I could get away with way more on Twitter and get her, and they're not letting me. Oh, God. Like, seriously, they're not letting me. I've seen other people say words that I can't say. They're not literally restricting my accounts, you guys. It's super funny from behind the scenes.
Tea with Goblin says, "Christ alive, she looks like a sweet old grandma. Imagine sitting across from her at Christmas dinner and hearing her happily explain why Jesus is with QAnon and is coming to defeat all of the satanic leftists and heathens. Genuinely unsettling." Agreed. Jake, thanks for 50 bits.
So, they're forcing me now. They're forcing me to be a good girl, and I'm okay with that. And I just want to say thank you to Q and whoever, and President Trump, and whoever knew that that was necessary. Because after 5 years of doing disclosure, by the time I got on True Social, I was really mad at Q and Q Army and everybody. I was really, really mad at you guys.
You think the orbs are starting to get to this lady? Sure, that's it.
And I just could not find enough swear words. I just couldn't. And I've justified it that you're not waking up and children's lives, children being tortured. Like, I justified that a few swear words, especially after the way that I was treated by so many people.
Yeah, we'll be doing a bingo check.
Well, you can't believe how, I would just use a few select words to knock your egos. Thank you for, ultimately, they don't like that.
All right, let's take a look at the bingo card. I know we got a bunch, so this will take a sec. Okay. She must have said deep state, right? Overt anti-Semitism. Wait, did we have overt yet? Word salad, I know we had that. No, we didn't have overt. I know we had, the other one. 5D. Believe sci-fi tech actually exists. QAnon is a source. She mentioned Q. Reptilians. I think we had Atlantis. She mentioned Atlantis. Aliens. Satanic. Let's say really wants a civil war for that whole lady spiel. 5G. The line between Chudwatch and Tinfoil Tuesday thins. Thinly veiled anti-Semitism. Hannah mentions Blu-rays. Believes they regularly speak to aliens. Hannah might die of laughter. I think that's it. I think that's it. It's quite a few. Give everyone a second. Any questions on any of them or anything like that? Move on. Jenkins says if you want some background on Titler for another time, also includes family statements. Oh, that person. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'll check that out. Correlation doesn't equal causation for what specifically? I don't think the Santa Claus stuff is ancient wisdom. Okay. Let's go to the next thing. If we have any more questions, we will go over it next time. She was writing things out, and then she had seen other things relating to aliens and saw it as a sign. I think that's more general fucking craziness. Because that's not even really a correlation. She's just... That'd be maybe... Was there any symbology? I don't know. I think that's more generally crazy shit. I think this guy's gonna try and tell us... Well, you'll see. This is gonna be population control as a motive, I'm pretty sure.
What if I told you that the marriage license is part of the eugenics agenda to depopulate the earth and to forbid polygamy? Let's investigate.
This is not my world. 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 This is not my world.
Let's start with the English spells. Marriage is marriage. So they want you to be on the ridge, which is on the edge.
Incorrect word origin as evidence. I don't even need to look that one up to tell you that's not where the word marriage comes from.
And indeed, if you are married, most likely at one point or another, you feel like you are on the edge. And when you marry officially, you get a license. And license is a license. It's a lie about your
What?
senses, right? And of course we have other licenses as well. and they all are lies about our senses. But especially this is true about marriage. Now, why on earth do we need a marriage license? First of all, because we can just decide to live with someone and that's it.
You can. That would, I guess, be a common law marriage in some jurisdictions, but if you want, like, federal or state benefits, or want to be able to actually prove legally that you are married for, like, hospital visits or other things, inheritance and stuff like that, like, there's all sorts of reasons that it makes sense to have legal documents showing that you're married. Tea with Goblin says, is this the guy who tried to explain that women should be getting pregnant at, like, 14 while wandering around the woods? No, that was a different guy, I think. Bitter Grin, thanks for 24 months. Happy 2nd anniversary.
I would call this the natural law marriage, not just simply natural marriage. We don't even have to call it anyhow, right? I just want to fuck this girl and that's it. And I want to live with her for long. Who cares? So the government doesn't have any right to tell me who I can marry or who I can't.
Okay, then just be with that person. And if you guys consider it a marriage, then that's great. Then socially that is a marriage. And in some places might even be legally a common law marriage. But, like, that has nothing to do with state and federal marriage. Like, these are things that exist for basically clerical reasons.
Or who I can fuck or who I can't. But they feel like they are entitled to, right? Because they are the parasites that run this whole world. And we are in this asylum, this prison, that is not ours. At least it is not mine. It may be yours. In that case, why are you watching this video? Now let's go to good old Wikipedia and see what they say about the marriage license. They lie about our senses. Marriage license is a document issued either by a church or state authority authorizing a couple to marry. Authorizing a couple to marry. Like, what the fuck? Why do I need an authorization from anyone to marry anyone? The procedure for obtaining...
If we're talking about legal marriage, it's because the state determines legal marriage status, which you could consider different than, like, you know, your marriage colloquially or whatever. That's fine. But we're talking about, again, marriage in the administrative sense. Mr. Whiskers, thanks for gifting a sub.
Am I glad he's frozen in there and that we're out here and that he's the sheriff and that we're frozen out here and that we're in there and I just remembered we're out here. What I want to know is where's the caveman?
I've seen that before. Where were we? Sorry, I lost that guy's channel. It's around here somewhere. I know it. There he is.
A license varies between countries and has changed over time. Marriage licenses began to be issued in the Middle Ages, blah blah blah, history lies, right? His story. To permit
It's not the etymology of history.
a marriage which would otherwise be illegal, right? Like, who the fuck is the government to tell me what is legal and illegal? Some states in the US hold that public cohabitation can be sufficient as legal and illegal, right? Like, who the fuck is the government to tell me what is legal and illegal, right? Like, who the fuck is the government to tell me what is legal and illegal?
The government! They're the government! Stone Corbell says the etymology stuff is absolutely infuriating.
Some states in the US hold that public cohabitation can be sufficient evidence of a valid marriage. This is one of the worst things that they can do, really. Like, who are they that they tell me that if I live with a woman, then they tell me that this is a marriage and I have to get a license? Like, get the fuck out of my life.
They're not! You don't have to do that! What are you talking about? Do you think they're gonna, they're gonna knock on your door? you've been cohabitating for 30 years, you need to get a license. Like, it's not like a TV license in the UK. It's not mandatory. You don't have to get a marriage license and be legally married.
Groups and individuals believe that the requirement to obtain a marriage license is unnecessary or immoral. This is under the subheading of controversy in the US, but I think it's controversy elsewhere as well. And of course, there's no necessity to get a license, right? The Libertarian Party, for instance, believes that marriage should be a matter of personal liberty, not requiring permission from the state, obviously. Individuals who align with this libertarian stance argue that marriage is a right and that by allowing the state to exercise control over marriage, it falsely presupposes that we merely have the privilege, not the right to marry. But actually, this is how it is. Because we are living in the system, this is not our system, this is the system of the parasites. And the parasites have this system over us, we are slaves and they are the slave masters. And obviously, they do whatever the fuck they want to do. They create laws that are against us, that enslave us, and part of that is marriage license. Yes, it's part of control and part of slavery. And yes, they give us privilege to drive, to be born, you get a license there as well. To die, you need a license for that as well, because they have to allow you to die.
You don't have a death license, you have a death certificate. You have a birth certificate. These things aren't licenses. Again, these are administrative tools used for cataloging and keeping track of births. Like, these are basic, like, bureaucratic things that you need for an administrative state.
And then be recycled, and then go into the soul recycling, get another body, get your memory revived, and this is for them a system, right? So they of course need control. They need to give you permission to be born and to die, obviously. If you think about it, that makes sense from their perspective. As an example...
It doesn't. That's not a thing that happens. Andy Pretzel says, do you have a license for being dead inside?
The right as opposed to a privilege. Those that are born in the US receive a birth certificate certifying that they have been born, not a birth license. Well, I would say this is a license, kind of, which would give them license so they could be born.
It's not a license.
Well, that's what it is.
It's literally on screen, the source he was using. The source he was using to prove his point says it is not a birth license, and he says, no, but it is, though. He just says no. I reject reality, and I substitute my own. He's like Neo, but instead of, like, moving the bullets, like, he's stopping all logical thought feet in front of him. Are you telling me I can dodge facts? I'm saying that when the time comes, you won't have to.
Some Christian groups also argue that marriage is a contract between a man and a woman presided over by God, so no authorization from the state is required. Now, what they don't understand is that God is the dog backwards.
Of course! David It's a good episode. This is a good episode of Tinfoil Tuesday. David Goblin says, boomer voice, a death certificate? What, you died and you want a special certificate? These damned coddled millennials wanting prizes for everything. When I was a kid, we just died and didn't expect a pat on the head for it.
And that is the warden. Christians believe in the system. They are part of the system. Okay? Religion was created by the warden, which is God. And so, of course, they are part of the system and they don't understand what's going on. Some US states have started citing the state specifically as a party in the marriage contract, which is seen by some as an infringement. I mean, infringement of what? It is their world. But I mean, this is just ridiculous part in the marriage contract. But the thing is, even without stating it, the state, the government, is always part of the marriage contract. You are not marrying someone, you form an entity, you form a corporation, and it has three parties: you, the woman, and the government. So
I mean, it is a legal entity. The marriage you are becoming a part of is a legal thing, correct?
here is a marriage certificate, and this is from 1875, and it authorizes you to live with someone. Okay, do you see where we are heading with this? It's a mindfuck. Let's look at this closer. Can you see this?
Where we're heading, this is the past, sir. We've moved away from requiring a marriage license to live with people.
Yes,
Do I want to be an entity with you? I'd love to, Baha.
the all-seeing eye. Of course, he is the one who is authorizing you. God the dog, the warden. He's the one who is letting you be with that special someone, okay? You have to ask permission because he's Big Daddy. Now here's another one. And we can see here on this 1883 wedding lock certificate, you can see that these people are chained together. You know, like, I don't want to be chained to anyone, even if I love that person.
Sir, if you don't want to get married, just don't get married. It's fine. It's symbolic.
Holy matrimony. Matrimony is from the mother. So again, it's a gynocentric world. When you get a certificate
Did he just say we live in a gynocentric world?
of marriage, you are basically giving the state the right to exercise control over your private life. That's what you do basically. It's about giving the woman the right over you. Why? Because if you haven't noticed, the system supports the woman, but it doesn't support the man.
Oh god, this guy's like a red pill right-wing MGTOW.
Never. 90% of the cases is the woman who gets the divorce, and she's the one who gets the child support and gets your child. Like, what the
What a weird way of framing that.
fuck?
Does he think women just leave marriages for no reason? Does he think in all those cases the husbands were great guys who are just getting shafted?
The child is supposed to be your heir, and your woman is taking it away. Why?
Ew. Did he just call a child it? Taking it away?
Because you gave her a license. You authorized her with the help of the government. And the government likes this. Because they want to destroy society. They want to destroy
The government wants to destroy society, but not allowing me to consider my wife and children my property. Forrest Espion says, imagine this being on the Terrence Pop show. Thoughts? Also, is Terrence still on the run from the government? When was Terrence ever on the run from the government? I miss Terrence, though. We should cover him again.
marriage. So these eugenic bastards, those who want to depopulate the earth, they created this certificate so that you are slave to your woman, slave to the state, and the woman can do to you whatever she wants to. That's basically it. You are
I have a feeling that this guy has been in many unsuccessful relationships, and the common denominator in every single one was him.
authorizing her. So don't ever sign such a fucking paper if you are a man. Interestingly, at the bottom we can see I-882. Marriage is honorable.
That's 1882. That's the year 1882.
Holy Bible, right? Is holy because it's full of holes, and it's Bible because you buy a bull. Alright, guys, what else did I want to say?
This is how he sounds. Oh god, what is it? Yeah, I love that Charlie image.
Now let's look at this. This is a Russian marriage certificate, but any of the certificate you could look at is just something that I found on Wikipedia for free. And of course, it has a number, right? Number 5325.
Chibahawk says the GD date is even spelled out on the MFN document.
15. That means when you marry, you create an entity, you create a corporation. Now the head of the
Calling it a corporation is weird. No, your marriage is a legal, like, thing that you enter into with your spouse. It is a legal entity, but it's not like a private corporation. No, that's a different thing.
corporation or the CEO or the boss is the state. The CFO, the CTO and all the C's is the woman. She will get your child. She will divorce you. She will get all your money.
This guy is fucking salty as shit.
Because the state supports this, and you are the slave. The government, which is the rulers of the world, hates man. We are their enemy. Do you understand? I am an enemy of the state because I am a man, because I have a dick. If I wasn't, I would be supported, but I am not. The woman is supported because she has a vagina. She can be used for recycling the souls and the reincarnation cycle.
Oh, that's a lot that he just said. Stone Corbell says, in the very most literal, root definition of corporation, you could say a marriage is like a corporation, but no. And Forrest Espion says, I found Terrence Pop somehow back on YouTube. Here's a recent video. Terrence responds to, yeah, he's been on. Like, are you sure you're not mistaking him for someone else? Because he's been consistently posting, for a while. Like, he never stopped. I don't think he was ever on the run from anyone. Aries Corinthier says, it's only a corporation if it was formed in the corporate region of France. Everything else is just sparkling capitalism.
It can be used to
are you thinking of Coach Red Pill?
Manipulate you to take all your money because you are an enemy. And they use the woman against you. That's why they create the marriage license.
Dude, please seek therapy. You don't need to be making YouTube videos. Just go to therapy. Andy Pretzel says, sir, you are aware that most of the government is filled with old white dudes, at least in America.
To authorize her to destroy you. There's nothing nice about being a man in this world. We are the trash of the world. Being a real man is something that is shunned upon. So let's get the fuck out of here. As a side note, I wanted to show you this marriage license I found. Marriage certificate from 1794. Now, you can see here that this was added later. It's not the same pen, it's probably actually a pencil. And it says 1784. But if you go down, we'll see that is I-94.
No! At best it might be 1794, but it's definitely a 1. He is so in denial, because he has this whole other conspiracy about what year it secretly actually is. So every time he sees a date that's 18 whatever, or 17 whatever, he always likes to pretend that the 1 is an I, because it completely fucks up his entire worldview. It's so weird, seeing this delusion in real time.
And this 7 was just added to it later. At least it looks like that to me. Fake history at play here as well. Now the other thing I wanted to point out here is that marriage license was invented to illegalize polygamy. Now polygamy was one of the most desirable and most common thing in the world. In fact, it is still one of the most common marriage form in most civilizations.
Is that... I can't imagine that's true.
It's just not in...
I don't care either way. I have no, feelings in terms of as long as everyone's consenting. I'm happy for anyone to marry any other consenting adults as long as everyone in the situation is not coerced or anything like that. Whatever. Don't care. I'm happy for people. I really am. I just think he's lying. I just don't think that's true.
In the West. And of course the West rules the world. And why do you think that they made polygamy illegal by the marriage license? Because polygamy made a man strong, and it
did it?
Created strong families, and it created strong women, and everyone was happy.
Historically, I really don't think that's the case. I think there are very healthy ways I'm sure people have polyamorous relationships now. but historically, like, this kind of thing was not run communally, let's say. It was not a fair power dynamic. It was a patriarchal, hierarchical system in which the man was the head of the household and the wives were his property. It was not an empowering experience for women.
But of course, it had to stop, because the parasites like destruction, they like suffering and chaos. Monogamy is totally unnatural. We as men, we are naturally polygamous. It's good for the society, it's good
Sir, I understand you want to fuck a bunch and you want to fuck different people, and that's your business. That's fine. You're allowed to do that. That's cool. I'm happy for you. But, like, don't tell other people what they're gonna do. Don't project your feelings onto everyone else.
For the woman, it's good for the man, it's good for the children, it's good for everyone. And it creates people who are strong and powerful. And the government doesn't like this. And that's why they created monogamy and the certificate for the monogamy. Because there's no certificate for polygamy, right? It is illegal by the governments. Of course, only to a certain degree, because you can still practice polygamy, but you can't have a marriage license for it. And of course, fuck the marriage license.
Wait, are you mad or not? It's not illegal to be in, relationships with multiple people. You can be with as many people as you want consensually. That's a thing you can do. And you were just saying you wanted the government out of marriage. So why do you want it to be legal to get married with multiple people? Because that would involve the state. Jake says, this guy is infuriating. Tea with Goblin says, I'd bet my left tit that this dude would get hyper jealous if his girlfriend wanted to have multiple boyfriends, probably.
Who needs that?
And for the record, I also, I think if multiple people wanted to get legally married, I have no problem with that. I don't care.
I want several wives as well, and I'm not...
I shouldn't even say I don't care, because that's dismissive. I think people should be allowed to do that if they want to. I don't think the government should tell people they can't.
Not going to have any licenses with them. The only thing you need is commitment, and that's it. I don't need permission from the government, okay? What I do in my private life. They can get lost. And then of course we have these articles, why men won't get married anymore. Women complain chaps today won't settle
Oh, the Daily Mail. What a reputable source.
down. I mean, why would we? Who wants to become a slave? And the good thing is, more and more men realize this, that marriage is slavery. We don't want to be your slave. We want to
Sir, no one's making you get married. Don't get married then. I'm happy for you.
lead. That's
KBS says, if the societal standard is one man and multiple women, then the society must dispose of excess men, therefore polygamy is bad for most men. Yeah?
natural. We don't want to give our power
He just assumes he'll be one of the top men who gets a giant harem, because of course he assumes that.
to you and to the state. We do realize with our real lies that these are real lies. That the government is on your side, woman, and they authorize you to take our money, take our child, and take our sanity. So of course we are not going to marry. A controversial new book argues that the triumph of feminism has meant men are now second-class citizens.
What kind of fucking article is this, Daily Mail? Someone wrote a book that said a thing!
Exactly. According
Okay?
to the Office for National Statistics, marriage in Britain is at its lowest level since 1895. For an army of women, Mr. Right is simply not there, no matter how hard they look for him. And the reason? When it comes to marriage, men are on strike. Why? Because the rewards are far less than they used to be.
If you cannot find good reason to get married, and you believe the only thing that's going for you in terms of marriage is quote-unquote rewards and not just getting to be with your partner? What the fuck is wrong with you? You shouldn't be getting married. What do you think marriage is? Don't get me wrong. Both I and Baha get things out of our marriage. We're supportive and love each other and all that stuff, of course. But, those things are there regardless of whether or not we're married. We're together and we love each other. And the marriage is just a thing. Our wedding was great and super fun. And I'm glad we had it. But the marriage certificate itself is mostly just a legal document for, legal purposes if we ever need to. And tax benefits. Oh, it muted. Sorry.
That's it. And we can only see this in Mail Online because they have to inform us of what they are doing with us so that they can mock us in the face. Don't believe that Mail Online is now on the good side and they are telling the truth. They are telling the truth because you just have to reveal it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the right to go ahead and do that.
Bittergrin says the only issue I could see with polyamorous marriage is criminals taking advantage so they can't be compelled to testify against each other. That situation is so outlandish that I could see Adam Sandler making a terrible comedy about it, if I'm being honest. Remember, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry? Like that, but stupider. I don't think that's a realistic enough justification to try and tell people they can't do that.
That destructive work. Ultimately, men know there's a good chance they'll lose their friends, their respect, their space, their sex life, their money, and if it all goes wrong, their family, says Dr. Helen Smith, author of Why Men Are Boycotting Marriage, Fatherhood, and the American Dream. Perhaps I will try to get in touch with this author and maybe get on the show if she agrees. They don't
Good luck.
want to enter into a legal contract with someone who could effectively take half their savings, pension and property when the honeymoon period is over. Exactly, that's it. Why would we do this? This is mental sickness. Men aren't wimping out by staying unmarried or being commitment phobies, they are being smart. Yes, why would a smart man go into this unnatural...
Have you considered that in the past a lot of people got married just because it was the expected thing to do, that in reality we're probably seeing a pretty reasonable amount of people getting married now because people who don't want to don't feel they have to necessarily? This is perhaps the natural level that we might be at with people having the free choice to get married or not. Don't get married then. That's fine. Don't get married. If you don't think you will get anything out of marriage, don't do it. I would be happy for you that you made that choice. Like, why are you acting as though this is universal? It's so weird.
Unfair agreement where the state is the daddy and the woman is the princess and you are the slave. Some more truth here from the author. We messed with the old marriage structure and now it's broken, she says. Back in the old days, stay-at-home mothers got a finance...
Like, does he understand? And what he was talking about before with, like, a polygamous marriage, does he understand that it would be that, but more so? Like, you have more wives now, which means you're supporting more people and more children. So whatever work you had to do previously, you now have to do more to support more people. But that's okay, but monogamy isn't, because that's slavery or something. This guy's all over the place.
Financial reward because child rearing doesn't pay cash. Now we want total independence from men, but if we divorce, even without having children, we expect to get alimony forever. We can't have it both ways. But most women want both ways. On one hand side, they say that they don't need man. On the other hand side, they are forever dependent on the man's money, even though they...
What the fuck are you talking about? You're talking about hypothetical all women as if they're a monolith. You were talking about individual people. Hypothetical individual people.
Say they are independent, right? Independent, really? So why do you need my money forever?
You don't want to be my slave, but now that you're divorcing me after agreeing to be a stay-at-home mom for 10 years and foregoing your education, now you want help because I cheated on you? Typical woke, hypocritical leftists in here. Sir, the reason that alimony exists is because it can be determined by a court that, for instance, within a marriage you made an agreement that one of you goes to work and the other one stays home and takes care of the kids, or is just like a stay-at-home whatever. Or even in situations where people are in a certain lifestyle and one makes more money than the other and the other just does a little thing on the side, still, once they go their separate ways, the court can say, okay, that was fine under the agreement you had under marriage, and now that you're transitioning out of that marriage, now this person is owed support. Like, that's just a thing. It's not magic. It's just a thing that can be determined based upon the agreements that were made within the marriage.
Along with the prospect of endless domestic criticism, this is why men are saying, I don't, rather than I do. Men need marriage like a fish needs a bicycle. Yeah, who needs that? Many women have been raised to think of men as the enemies, says Wanker. It's precisely this dynamic women good, man bad that has destroyed the relationship between the sexes. And of course, this is all.
Tea with Goblin says, Sir, are you aware that the vast majority of women work? If you want to stay at home trad wife, you don't get to be salty when you have to foot the bill for a single income household, you absolute radish. Chiba Hawk with 50 bits says, Trump organization found guilty on all counts of criminal tax fraud. Yeah, they're getting fined like $1 million. So, it doesn't matter.
All by design. The parasite entities that rule this world, the warden, exactly wants this, because then they can control us. If men are strong, which means we have several wives, there are no states, no government to give power to the women, then it would be a great society. After decades of browbeating, men are tired. Tired of being told there's something fundamentally wrong with them. Tired of being told that if women aren't happy, it's their fault. The rise of women has not threatened men, it has just irritated them. Yes, isn't it interesting that if the woman is not happy, it's always your fault, it's the man's fault, and there's always something...
This guy's projecting so many fucking personal issues onto the world, it's kinda hilarious that he doesn't understand he's doing it.
Wrong with you? Being a man? Give me a break. It's all a mindfuck. And the problem is, women are the easiest target of this system, because they are the so-called weaker vessel, as the Bible says. I don't
That's not how women work on the bingo card.
like the Bible, but I'm not sure how to say. They are more naive. They are more easy to manipulate, and they're simply different than men. I don't know.
Men he thinks women are more easy to manipulate. Reminder that this man doesn't believe that history is real. He thinks planes are fake. I don't remember if this guy's a flat earther, but he believes in Tartaria.
Know how to say it, and it's fundamentally a good thing, because that's how she can be molded to become the mother and to become your woman. She needs to be that way, to be a good woman for a man. But of course the system knows this, and they misuse this, and they manipulate her so that it is against you, against the man. And then of course the whole family is gone. Every kind of media is telling the woman that she's the princess, she's the good, and the men are bad. Men are always rapers. Men are always bad. They never know how to do things.
As we all know, Western media has never aggrandized straight cis white men.
It's always the woman has to fix.
First name Bunch of Numbers says it's gonna be a yikes for me, dog. And Bittergrin says the more he talks, the more I feel like I know what happened in all of his relationships. Yeah.
It, because the man always botches it up. You know, and we see all these fairy tales, the movies where the woman is the one who is to be desired and the man is always just the asshole. And of course the woman needs always the best man, the prince on the white horse, right? Because she deserves it, but us, we don't deserve shit. Right? That's the message that comes from Hollywood, because it's from the warden's office directly. And he knows exactly what our weak spots are. So women demand the best man, that you are masculine and also protective, but also gentle, and always look after her and does whatever she wants to. So basically they are telling women that it is good to be a feminist, it's good to destroy the family.
It's pretty good to be a feminist, actually. Wanting equal rights. It's pretty cool.
It's good to destroy your man because you are the ultimate goddess and men are shit. They just watch these movies, they watch the TV, they hear things and read things, and they change. They change to the worse. They change to what the system tells them. They are molded to their image. Not to our image, but to the image of the fucking warden. And then these other types of articles come out when they ask where have all the good men gone. These sassy, sophisticated, solvent women say they are struggling to find other halves that can measure up. Well, the problem is not with us, really. It's a problem with you. Because
it's not my problem that I'm a raging misogynistic idiot. It's your fault that your standards got higher. Why can't you settle for me? Fuck off. Ulvid Aspiration says, 7 months, I wish it was a cause for celebration since my dad spent the funds Mom had set aside for Christmas on guns and prepper bullshit. Oh, shit. I'm really sorry.
Because you molded by all the manipulation of Hollywood and the warden. And the question we should rather ask is, where have all the good women gone? Because that's really the question. Because if there are good women, we want...
It seems like to you, good woman just means someone who shuts up and takes abuse and, like, never questions you. So, like, hopefully they don't exist anywhere, because I'd be profoundly sad for that woman.
To marry them, not with a license to lie to our senses and be the slaves. No, no, no. We want to be in a committed relationship with women. It's natural. But if you are a feminist bitch, who wants to fuck with you? Who wants to be your slave? No real man with dignity would want that. So that's why we don't do that. Where have all the good men gone? We are still here. We just don't give a fuck.
Sir, you're not a good guy. You're not. You're awful.
And you can find all the beta males for you and all the wimpy and weak men to manipulate, but we are not going there. Marry them. Find them. But don't complain. It's your fault. And of course we could say it's the fault of the media, and partially it is true. But we have a choice how we react to the media and to the manipulation. You have a choice. You have a choice, woman. Don't be molded by the media. Become a good woman, and there will be good men for you.
Oh, I'm drier than Death Valley.
Here's a great article from A Voice for Men, responding to where are all the good men. Right now, all over the world, millions of women are searching for a good man, even after decades of effort on the part of the women's liberation movement to empower women with the mantra, I do not need a man. They continue on this seemingly endless quest. The process to find a good man begins early by assuring little girls that they'll meet a good partner one day. Indeed, they seem to
Oh man, maybe it's really weird that we're giving children any sort of messaging about marriage as children. That feels kind of weird, that we're priming children to define themselves by their partner. That's probably a bad idea in general.
intuitively understand that someone someday will take care of them for the rest of their lives. They are told when you are married you will be happy, as they bask in dreams of fancy wedding and a life with the perfect soulmate. He'll be masculine, he'll work hard, and he'll earn enough money to care for his woman and for her children. He will be strong, intelligent, healthy, and courageous, all the while being by her side for protection and support. For men, however, it is a different story. We don't ask for much. We like our women to be attractive, we like them to enjoy sex, and we like them to provide us with companionship.
What he's saying is, we want you to shut up, take care of our kids, cook for us, take care of us like we're your children, and fuck us anytime we want. And by fuck us, we don't mean have actual good sex. We mean I'm gonna stick it in, move around for about 30 seconds, come in you, and then just literally walk away. It's not as great of a deal as you think it is, my guy. Like, come on. What are you bringing to the table here?
What we don't want is for them to try to change us. Let's read this again. What we don't want is for them to try to change us. And I would add, we don't want them to control us. The fact is that women and society at large have systematically stacked mountains of needs, obstacles and expectation in front of us men, challenging us to measure up to impossible standards of masculinity at every stage of our lives. Most of the time, those we love most, especially the women many of us spend our lives chasing, place this straitjacket of idealized masculinity on us. They are a favorite object of love and desire, and in return, they expect stereotypical masculine perfection. Many hold dear those things that will elevate partners to good man status. Our girlfriends, wives, and significant others wield this power over us like a sword, or they leave us with a hurdle after hurdle to jump over. But for others, the burden of living up to an idealized version of manhood often leads to great stress and intense feelings of shame, anxiety, depression, and in extreme cases suicide. These marital burdens have created an escape phenomena for many men. Women often try to control their men by slapping, hitting, and throwing him out of their homes. Orderly society and even many men seem to approve of this abuse. Did he just say abuse? Oh. Is it not just man who can abuse? Can perhaps verbal abuse be abuse as well?
Sure.
The woman's weapon of choice is a sharp tongue, while the things
Women can also hit like men, and that's abuse. Like, what? Gnome Pickle says, on behalf of real men, I hereby call for this male to have his man card revoked. The Council of Men has decided this man is no longer one of us. Stone Corbell says, change yourself for me, but I'm not gonna do anything at all for you. You gotta take me like I am. So glad this kind of person is getting rarer and rarer. Agreed.
they say might smack of moral authority and loving concern, they often cut deeper than physical violence. The intent is to strike at our inherent male core. Many women are experts at inflicting pain through words alone, while others rely on tactics like bickering and nagging to stoke our insecurity even more. This has the potential to force even the most independent and self-assured of us to cower or worse. As an example of how critical this issue has become, a 2014 study found that verbal abuse was often a catalyst for husband suicides. And yet, women are the ones who are often afraid. They are so frightened by our powerful maleness that they command us to submit. But many women...
What are you talking about? Tea with Goblin says, it's almost as if patriarchal society forces men into restrictive and arbitrary gender roles. You know, the thing that feminism wants to dismantle. Chiba Hawk says, I second Gnome Pickles' suggestion. This man's card has been revoked. Bangs hammer.
Women don't seem to grasp the emasculating impact that their abuse can have. Lacking our biology, they cannot understand our emotions at their most primal level. They only see that we react and comply. They have no real understanding of the damage their reckless behavior can cause. Once our male sexual appetite is triggered...
Is he under the impression that women don't have feelings that can be hurt? Like, what the fuck?
We kowtow into submission, potentially sacrificing our long-term health and financial well-being by clinging to the false belief that physical intimacy is our reward for being good. We are not just compelled to save the woman and children first. In many respects, we have become vagina beggars. Like lemmings, we follow the dangerous and potential disastrous course. We have become imprisoned, and women hold the key. And I already see women telling me that I'm a misogynist. I'm not a misogynist. I'm not a...
You clearly are. Like, it doesn't really matter if you agree or not. Just by definition, sir, you really, really are.
Woman hater? I love women. In fact, I love...
You don't. I think you like to have sex with women. I think you like to control women. I do not think you like women.
Women very much. I just hate feminists. That's two different things. Because
I don't hate women. I just hate women who want to be equal to me.
Because feminism is an ideology from the parasites, from the communists, from the Jews, against the Goyim, especially.
Overt anti-Semitism, and everything I don't like is communism.
Against the Goyim man. My message to women is this: just get out of this stupid manipulation, and you will see that your life will become happier. You will not have to look for the good man, they will find you. And that's it for me for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting my work. Like, comment, share, subscribe, become
He loves the ideal woman he's made up in his head.
a member, and most importantly, don't follow the fucking parasites. What's the most ridiculous statement you heard from a feminist? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks everyone, see you in the next one.
Yikerinos, Batman, that's bad. KBS with 100 bits says he's exactly the sort of abuser who shows up at kink events pretending like being abusive makes him dominant. Sounds like a very specific example. Oof. I have to use the bathroom real quick, so let me see if I can put on a sausage guy video or something. Does that say Romancylvania? This isn't actually licensed, is it?
After night, nothing but darkness. I've been expecting you.
Oh, yeah.
The dark, loathsome cabal has decided to give you your very own reality dating show.
Hydrate.
I believe the show revolves around me finding love.
Love's not my forte, but I'm listening.
How about I thrill you with my skills?
So it's like a Castlevania game and also a monster dating simulator. Okay. Demon Goblin says, this looks ridiculous. Spooky trash. I'm in.
I don't know about this.
They're gonna get sued. Oh, okay, let's see. What do we have? Okay, let's pick a video for you to watch while I urinate. Okay, be right back.
Today we're gonna find out if you can boil a filet mignon in liquid smoke. Well, that doesn't look like enough liquid smoke. Bottle number 2. Third bottle of liquid smoke. And 4 bottles of liquid smoke. That might be too much, actually. Well, we'll see. Here we go! Oh, it's gone to the blackness. I'm gonna let this boil for 10 minutes. Well, alright, let's see how we did it. It appears to be well seasoned. Looks actually pretty good. I would sear it, but what's the point? Alright, let's cut into this bad boy and find out if 10 minutes was way too long. That actually looks pretty good. It's medium. And now to give our masterpiece a taste test. It's not good. It looks delicious, but it's the opposite of that. Even though the tenderness is great, the taste is like, I don't know, like wet cigarettes. So really, what could the score be? It's basically inedible. 0 out of 5.
Bop, 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 bop. What's liquid smoke? Liquid smoke is condensed. It's literally condensed smoke. People use it to put smoky flavor into food when they can't actually smoke it. It's carcinogenic, fun fact. Especially in California. Hey-o. California joke. See? I'm a centrist now. It's a joke. Okay, what are we gonna watch?
Alright, so I just want to address something real quick. You know, people, as long as I've been in the truth movement, people are, you know, I totally understand the sentiment. And if you want to keep peace within yourself, and not stress and fret and worry about, you know, the world and what's going on in it, I totally get it. When people say everybody just needs to throw their TVs away and ignore the mainstream and the politicians, I get it, you know, to a degree. That's what people see Jesus telling us to do when he says remove ourselves from the world. However, that's not ever going to solve anything. They would be happy as clams if we did that. Isn't that why they give us bread and circus? Football, basketball, baseball, soccer, you know, bars, clubs, everything they possibly can to...
No, I think that more has to do with the fact that people like entertainment and recreation, and we also live in a capitalist society where people do things based upon what allows them to make money, and sports teams and bars and clubs and other recreation activities make money. So people build those businesses to make a profit. And also people go there because they're fun, and humans like fun things.
To distract us because they want us to ignore them. Do you think they're just going to stop their agendas if we ignore them? No, they're just going to do what they want to do. And then say, well, we told you we were going to do this. It's not our fault you ignored us. Again, that's your implied consent through your apathy. So, you know, no, that's not the solution. Again, that's a personal solution to keep your sanity. I get it. I do what I can to ignore as much of the chaos and noise as I can. But the true way to stop this is to just stand up and say, no, we're sick of your bullshit. You know, like Monograph started the toys party, the tired of your shit party. You know, I mean, all it takes, it doesn't take violence. So you got to find a happy medium. You know, I said in that last video, all the news broadcasters should be drug out in the streets and shot. Of course, that's the extreme position. And honestly, I would understand if it happened.
No, let's not hurt anyone. How about that? That'd be great. This guy's a flat earther, by the way. So what he's talking about is flat earth being hidden.
I'm not threatening anyone. I'm just saying there are people that are getting to that point.
Yes, hello FBI, is that a threat on the bingo card? He is not the convicted pedophile guy, and that guy further wasn't convicted. The charges were dropped over some, like, legality thing. Like, it wasn't that it didn't happen, it was like a... It was dropped over... What's the word I'm thinking of? Some technicality, basically.
So, it's within the realm of possibility it could happen. It wouldn't be the first time. So, you know, but there's a happy medium. And it's simply just standing up and saying no. You know, and then violence will happen. Because they're not, again, I don't know how many times I've said it, they're not just going to take their imaginary whirly-twirly globe ball and say, go home. And say, I don't want to play anymore. They'll keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing until it reaches violence. But if you want the shit to stop, that's what's got to happen. Keep saying no, keep standing against them until they push it to that point. And then you're going to have to fight. Period. Now, in the meantime, if Jesus returns, when...
It's always good to have a contingency for if Jesus shows up.
Again, no man knows the date or time. So you better not count on that as your last resort. I don't think Jesus ever said, don't stand up for yourself for what's righteous and true. In fact, I think he said, put on the full armor of God to do just that. Keep standing, keep saying no, and keep rejecting the unrighteous and the wicked and the evil. Ignoring it will never make them go away. You can't ignore cancer and think it's just going to go away. Well, this is no different. So, you know, again, I understand the sentiment. You know, don't get brainwashed by the TV, but just throwing it away and ignoring the problem will never solve it. It will just get worse and worse and worse. And it's not like ignoring it isn't going to make it affect you. The laws, their draconian laws will still go into place. You know, until you're walking down the street one day and get arrested because you're wearing the wrong thing or you know, whatever. And you'll be oblivious because you just ignored it all. So that's not a solution. It's bury your head in the sand and hope it goes away. And hope Jesus returns in time before it gets too bad. I don't see that as a solution. I see it as a coping mechanism. But just throwing your TV away and ignoring the problem will never make the problem go away. And that's just my take on it.
Interesting take.
Christians are constantly bashed on for being passive and just waiting for Jesus to save them. Well, I've never been about that.
I've literally never heard of anyone bashing on any Christian for that ever.
I would never suggest anybody be about that. I've always been about stand up, say no to these wicked motherfuckers. You're not going to take their shit anymore. You know, and all I'll get for this video from half the people is, oh, your language. Oh, God, your language. Oh, God. If you think my language is the worst thing you've got to worry about, you've got serious issues. You have no idea what's coming for you. So, that's all I got on that.
Jesus. This is only 2 minutes as an addendum. This is just him laughing at people for knowing the Earth is a sphere.
Oh boy. Looks like there's a whole new generation of triggered little globe cult cucks that are desperately trying to get my attention again.
This man just ironically used the term globe cucks. So that's good.
How much of a life do you not have to have? Wow. So, looks like they're making all kinds of videos about how I won't engage them in social media banter, and that makes me a coward.
I don't know what he's talking about.
We all, of course, know what they don't have. Not one single one of them. I'll bet you everything those losers own, which probably isn't much, that they don't have a video of them mechanically, physically measuring curvature upon the surface of a resting body of water. Therefore, I don't need to engage you little clowns that are saying nothing but all the whole parade of clowns before you for the last 8 years. So, continue to cry me a river, you little cowards. And any of you that want to grow the balls, get together with your little trolling, doxing friends. They've all got the address, I'm sure. Show up and try to debate me face to face. And watch how quickly I delete and remove you from the premises. Let's see who's really got some balls, you little globe heroes. Until then, unless you have a video showing you physically, mechanically measuring curvature in a resting body of water upon its surface, you've got nothing still. So there's no need for me to engage you immature little online keyboard cowboys. So go ahead and keep crying my name and thinking I give a fuck. But I do appreciate the amusement. It's hilarious.
God, he does such a creepy laugh. Bittergrin says, does that mean folding ideas can come for him because he has a video at a lake doing that? Yeah, I love that. Finding Flat Earth or In Search of Flat Earth on YouTube. Dan's great. Mr. Whiskers says, did he just invite strangers to his house to be deleted? He did. Let's take a look at the bingo card. That's not how women work. This is Marxism, socialism, communism, but it isn't. Overt anti-Semitism. Incorrect word origin is evidence. Did we have chemtrails? I feel like we got chemtrails, but I could be misremembering. That might have been something I watched earlier before stream. Spurious symbology is evidence. Okay, that's page 1. Did anyone say sheeple? Flat Earth. Hello, FBI, is this a threat? Numerology used as evidence. Thanks, 1 billion plus 1. Oopsie. Okay, I think that's it.
What if a developer could help teach a nonverbal child how to communicate with loved ones? What if an ant could bridge a habitual child to an ever-evolving community? How to communicate with loved ones? What if an animal...
Teach a child how to communicate with loved ones. Technology that teaches children how to communicate. Think about that.
Animator could bridge a habitual child to an ever-evolving community. What if a researcher could implement innovative technology to minimize overstimulation in children and improve learning?
Now, I'm sure you're picking up on some of the language here. I believe these, well, actually, I'm sure of it. I know, just based on what I've read, that these technologies are specifically aimed at children with autism. But of course, we understand that's just like they're trying to aim Neuralink at dementia and blindness, etc. It will eventually be extended out into more consumer-based.
Neuralink isn't going to happen. It's another one of Elon's fucking scam things. And unfortunately, there have been many dead monkeys in pursuit of his bullshit.
Models.
What if these people and others from around the world came together on a journey to transform the classroom? Combining talents to shape a better path for special education by allowing children to take their learning to the next level.
I see the latest about Twitter HQ? No. What happened?
Opening up a world of possibilities.
Now, again, let's listen to that language there. What does that sound like? Let's enhance their ability to learn, communicate, relate, and experience. Let's enhance the learning experience. Enhance. This is a strong...
Oh, Twitter fired all the janitors. I heard about that, yeah.
Strong aspect of transhumanism. Let's enhance, whether it be our experiences, our abilities, our biological makeup. Let's enhance these things through technologies. This looks all sweet and cute, and just wait till you see what this classroom turns into. That's apparently the teacher, right, for now.
Okay. Auntie Pretzel says, fired all the sanitation janitorial staff, you say. What could possibly go wrong? You know, asking as a janitor. Stone Corbell says, what is wrong with using technology to enhance ourselves? You're literally doing that right now by using a computer. Just because it's not inside your body doesn't mean it's not enhancing you. Humans inventing and using tools and teaching others in our human community to use those tools is a defining characteristic of humanity. It's just weird to be against that. Like, I understand there's always, like, the, you know, oh, dare we meddle, Jurassic Park, Frankenstein, you know, concerns about, like, when should we do certain things? Are we meddling with forces beyond our comprehension? Shit. But, like, usually people invent things and then people do stuff with them. That's how most things work. It's fine. It's not usually evil. It's fine. He is literally wearing glasses. That is true. He's look how dejected he is over this toy robot dancing. Like, this looks like a step above, like, I had, when I was a kid, the robot bots that were popular were Robo Sapien. So there was the Robo Sapien, the original, and then there was a Robo Sapien V2. This looks more complicated than those for sure, but not by much. It's clearly like a toy. It's an expensive, complicated toy, but it's a toy.
Help shape the path and become a part of the journey.
Logarth says that Toy Robot is NAO, which is about $8,000 a unit that they've sold to schools that does a lot. It's won actual awards from teacher groups across the world, mostly in France, but all over the place. Really? What does it do?
The contrite, emotive nature of it gets under your skin a little bit. You know, the music, just the whole thing. You know, cute kids, you know, they're all happy and having a good time. It's so manipulative.
I mean, that's advertising, and even when it is for like a non-profit, advertising rules are going to be a thing. And yes, for charities and stuff, people are going to turn on the sappiness to hit you emotionally, because that's an effective way to get donations. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, just is what it is.
Now, I want to bring this back to this image here. This is just
I'd rather it come into this than, like, I've seen Pepsi and Coke commercials that make me roll my eyes, that they're trying to bring, like, emotional things into it. Like, but, you know, at least this is, like, for an actual thing, for a cause. It's not just buy our product.
Let's think about this for a second. Let's think about this for a second. Where's that one image? They're all like, there we go. So think about this. This moment is so wild. 2022, right now, this era we're all in, is paramount when you think of, say, the technological future. And it's a future we don't aim to predict. We try to understand where it could go. We're not sure. All we can really do is follow logic and hope that entropy and infighting and, you know, the hand of God, you know, in a sense changes the course of some of these things. But let's just say, as a thought experiment, let's just say, okay, what if the future, say 50 years from now, is going to be like some episode of Star Trek or something, or, you know, one of these types of sci-fi films?
Sir, I don't think they said anything about it being Star Trek or sci-fi. They just wanted to show a cool robot and show unique teaching tools for helping kids on the spectrum who might have needs that are different from neurotypical kids. Like, that's cool. That's great. That's fine. When did they say anything about Star Trek?
Where robots have integrated fully into the system and they've become part.
That's not really Star Trek
of our lives.
It's more Star Wars.
To the degree that
Star Trek doesn't have that many robots.
We befriend them, we rely on them on a daily basis just to exist, to coexist, and to function. Let's just say that's the future in 50 years. Okay? What I'm showing you right here would be the introduction of human, or should we say the introduction of true transhumanist dehumanization. This, what I'm showing you, this image, this video.
Conspiracy theorists are so afraid of the concept of transhumanism. It's wild to me.
Video, all of these things I'm about to go through today are like, it's almost like this is when.
Which is funny too, because Star Trek is very anti-transhumanism as well, even though I don't think he seems to know that.
Noah was going around warning people, right? That, like, say the first step he took, this is like that first step. It's just creepy because it's being sold like this is such a cool thing, but what it could turn into, say, way cartoons.
All right, enough of him bitching about toy robots. Logarth says, aside from being used to teach autistic kids, it's also a fully programmable robotics platform with tons of articulation. They have international NAO soccer competitions, and a lot of schools use them for STEM and special ed, as well as burgeoning robotics programs. Also, the new versions with face recognition and simple AI is $15,000. Oh my god. I can't tell if it's actually cool or a grift to get schools to buy a bunch of shit they don't need. I don't know how effective it is. Mr. Whiskers, thanks for a cleanse. Stone Corbell says, guess what other tech has become fully integrated into our lives and we can't live without? Refrigerators, cars, cell phones, the internet, etc., etc.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's Joseph. Quick and simple gospel. Yeshua, Jesus, came to this earth, lived a perfect 33 years, was crucified on a cross for our sins, buried in a tomb for 3 days, and rose from the grave on the third day.
So when Jesus dies at 33, it's holy and perfect, but when anyone does anything else related to a 33, it's Freemasons. That seems convenient. Logarth says, in complete fairness, they sold Hero 1 robots in the 1980s to schools for $25,000, and those had about as much functionality as my HP 48G graphing calculator. It does help to grow the civilian non-military robotics industry and to get people used to seeing and using and interacting with robots.
Are saved through faith in Christ alone and by no other name. Amen. So guys, in the news today, Kanye West questions Elon Musk's ethnic heritage, suggests Twitter boss may be genetic hybrid. This article from today, December 5th. Alright guys, so we're going to break this down all by the numbers using gematria, which is simply letters as numerals, and once you learn the simple code of...
Oh my god, gematria was developed for, like, ancient Hebrew. It was not developed for Arabic numerals, much less American Arabic numerals. Razor Sharp Gaming 96, thanks for 5 months, says, hey Hannah, can you give a shout out to Starlight Did Nothing Wrong? Sure. Shout out to Starlight Did Nothing Wrong. Starlight Did Nothing Wrong is great. Stone Corbell says, oh, I thought this was going to be racist, but then he said gematria, and I realized it was just going to be nonsense.
Coding letters into numbers, you can see right through the scripted coded news every day. So, Kanye West questions Elon Musk's ethnic heritage, suggests Twitter boss may be genetic hybrid. Alright guys, well, in gematria, genetic hybrid has a numerical value of 69.
Nice.
Like Elon's full name, Elon Reeve Musk equals 69.
Nice.
In the same cipher. And Illuminati equals 69.
Nice.
And the Jesuit Order equals 69.
Nice.
Like genetic hybrid and Elon Reeve Musk, 69.
Nice.
Am I the only one who thinks Elon could be half Chinese? West asked. Half Chinese has a numerical value of 54 in 2 out of the 4 base ciphers, like Jesuit Order equals 54. Now, to the good stuff. Genetic hybrid has a numerical value of 222 in reverse gematria, that big number we talk about every single day. Genetic hybrid 222, like order out of chaos 222, as above so below 222, Barack Obama the Antichrist 222, the Beast of Revelation 222. Don't forget, Obama tested positive 222 days after his birthday. Antichrist system is 222. The word beast is 222. The list goes on. All right? Huge number we talk about all the time. So, genetic hybrid is 222. And check out this part right here. Kanye West calls Twitter chief Elon Musk half Chinese, clone engineered like Obama.
Clones on the bingo card.
How about that? So Kanye West is saying that Obama could be some type of a clone. And not just any clone, but the clone of an Egyptian pharaoh. The rapper compared Mr. Musk to Barack Obama, referring to the bizarre theory that the former U.S. president was a clone of an Egyptian pharaoh. And that pharaoh would be Akhenaten. Now let me go down to the bottom here. Notice Akhenaten.
Nerdtacular, thanks for 9 months, says it's time. This baby's name is going to be Thanks. Akhenaten. Mr. Whiskers with 100 bits. You know what? Akhenaten Obama. I like that. Akhenaten Obama is the name of this stream, baby. Hype Train, 75% to level 1 of a Hype Train.
Obama equals 666. And if you look at their faces side by side, it's almost identical.
Not really.
Besides the over-stylized eyebrow there. But notice the nose, the lips.
Ah, yes. Humans do indeed have those holes.
The eyes, the ears, the big ears, the crease in the face.
No one in the history of faces has ever had a crease right here in their face before. Bitter Grin says almost identical except for all the parts that aren't at all. And Stone Corbell says totally different eye shape, cheek shape, lip shape, ear position. Gadri, thanks for gifting a sub. KBS says I fully support the 666 naming convention.
It's even got that little crease right there. See right there? Isn't that amazing? So I've been talking about this for 3 years straight.
Level 1 complete.
On this channel.
Miss K's, thanks for
that
50
Obama
bits.
Could possibly be some type of clone.
Possibly is pulling a lot of weight.
Of Akhenaten. And isn't it interesting? Now you have Kanye West talking about it. Isn't that...
One sec. Is this the thing? Oh.
Look, I'm not transphobic. I just think that people identifying as anything their imaginations can think up has gotten a little bit out of hand. Like,
that's not a thing. I don't want to listen to a fucking transphobe right now. I just don't. Where was the thing we were watching? There he is.
Something. Wow. I couldn't believe it when I read it. So, just wanted to throw that out there.
Is Obama the Antichrist or Pharaoh reincarnated? I guess he's both.
Now you got Kanye West talking about it. Maybe Obama is the clone of Akhenaten. And of course, guys, Kanye West is part of the club. He's not a good guy. He's part of the club. Elon's...
Is there a reverse gematria where you can put in a number and get words that add up to it? I don't know.
Part of the club. Alex Jones, part of the club.
Like, that's certainly something that could exist, but I don't know if anyone's ever made an app to do that or anything.
Trump, they're all bad. They're all part of the club, guys. But yeah, you know, they got to tell you a little bit of truth here and there. That's why some people like Kanye, because he gives you a little bit of truth.
No, he doesn't. He's a goddamn psycho. He's a person with, like, a severe mental illness that's being given information from literal neo-Nazis. Mr. Whiskers, thanks for gifting a sub. 56% to level 2.
Right? That's what controlled opposition does. But wow. Of all the things that he could talk about, Elon Musk is a clone just like Obama, who's the clone of an Egyptian pharaoh The same thing I've been saying for 3 years. So, crazy times, huh? Alright, quick recap. Genetic hybrid, 69, like...
Yeah, sure. Remind me about Devil Summer Marie. When we're about to end, I'll copy-paste the name right now. Okay. Mr. Whisker says, 33rd gift sub, I am now Freemason.
Elon Reeve Musk, Illuminati, the Jesuit Order, they're all 69. Half Chinese, 54, and 2 out of the 4 base ciphers like Jesuit Order is 54. And genetic hybrid, 222 like Order out of Chaos, as above, so below. Barack Obama, the Antichrist, is also 222. And Akhenaten Obama equals 666. And as you can see, they look pretty identical, Obama and Akhenaten. So, anyways, you can come up with your own conclusion, but I think it's very interesting that this is in the news today of all the things. So, anyways, that's it for this video. Real short one. Please like, comment.
Well, better save this guy. This one, take note of Boxy here. This one's probably going to be anti-Semitic. Stone Corbell says, my conclusion is that the world is scary and has made you lose your mind. 61% to level 2 with 45 seconds left on the hype train. Like I said, this one's probably anti-Semitic. We're doing this for educational purposes, pointing out conspiracy theories and how they tie into anti-Semitism. When it comes up, we'll deal with it and talk about it. And we'll bail out when we can't deal with it anymore.
Indoctrination of the dinosaurs started young, learning about the Triassic period, the Jurassic period, and
Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub. 20 seconds left in the hype, 89% to level 2.
the Cretaceous period. Would you believe that I even wanted to be a paleontologist when I grew up?
Well, that's sad. Gedry2, thanks for gifting a sub.
But as I grew, the story of the dinosaurs became more and more far-fetched. Inherently, I used to make these dinosaur raptor claws and bury them in my backyard. It seems that's what these Masonic dinosaur artists have been doing all along.
It's not Masons on the bingo card, by the way. 14% to level 3.
Did you see dinosaurs? Yeah. Were they real dinosaurs?
Fake. They were fake? No way, they were real.
They were fake.
Dinosaurs aren't real. Now, before you jump out of your chair and start typing things in the comments like, dinosaurs are definitely real, they have them in museums and things, how can you believe this crap?
The following video shows how the dinosaur fossils are actually being created by the science community that is composed of paleontologists, scammers.
Museums make replicas of bones that they have because having the real ones on display would be too dangerous. Also, there are artistic representations of dinosaurs that are done using what we know about them from real bones and then filling in the gaps. It's not a random guess. It's based off of what we already know about other dinosaurs and life on Earth. It's an entire field of study, fun fact. Nemesaur Colboth, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs, getting us to 30% to level 5. Nemesaur coming in clutch, perhaps to save the train.
The dinosaur fossils are actually never found, though they are claimed to be found. You've seen videos and pictures of people actually excavating, digging dinosaur fossils, but that actually never occurs. They're only posing, they're only pretending to be digging and excavating dinosaur fossils. Most of the time, paleontologists, scammers are lying to people that they discovered. They're making false claims that they discovered dinosaur fossils. Paleontologist scammers are owners of museums. They control the museums. The museums...
Big museum. What a lobby. Gnome Pickle says, yes, let me put these rare and fragile things on display in front of bored students who will try to touch them. Jake Thoney with 500 bits, thank you. KBS666 says, have personally found dino fossils. Ooh, that's fun. Real bones are ungodly expensive. Some museums will have representations made. True. Stone Corbell says, love his references are just, here are a few random videos I found on the internet where you can say anything. He's doing his best. 53% to level 5.
Know about the scamming. The museums need government funding. They make millions selling dinosaur fossils, and they get millions from government funds.
Like,
they
do
also
you know,
make
even if dinosaurs weren't real, do you think all museums are filled with his dinosaur bones? Have you been to a museum? Dinosaurs are not a huge part of most museums. Like, if it's a dinosaur museum, I could see that being a problem, but, like, most museums have a lot of things in them. Like, even natural history museums that are going to probably have dinosaur stuff have many other things other than dinosaurs. It's about all natural history, not just dinosaurs.
Emissions. The dinosaur fossils are not actually sandstone fossils, though the science community claims that the dinosaur fossils are sandstone. They are basically made out of plastic, styrofoam, fiberglass, and various other rubber material.
Nope. Marcus Drake says not a fan of IFL, but they have a few of this guy, cool artistic representation about how we might F up if we tried to recreate living animals from their fossils. Yeah, I've seen these. They're pretty interesting. I think this was a baboon. They had them do a baboon, but in the style they used to try and figure out what dinosaurs look like in artistic interpretations. It's interesting.
Most of the dinosaur fossils are actually created at the museums. Only if the dinosaur fossils are going to be sold, that's when most of the dinosaur fossils are created by mixing sand and cement and sold to a collector. Sometimes it's only cement. People are actually believing in all the lies that the science community is selling them. They believe in anything that the science community is selling them. But the science community has been deceiving the public. I had actually thought that the dinosaur fossils were actually sandstone fossils. In other videos I showed how you could create a sandstone fossil by mixing wet cement and sand and dumping it into a skeleton mold of a dinosaur.
Again, these are making reproductions by molding the originals or 3D scanning the originals that are in fact dinosaur fossils. Overthought says the only representation of dinosaurs I trust. Man, the Jim Henson Studios were busy in the 90s.
But the paleontologist scammers were not that clever. They never actually figured that out. They never used that method. They didn't know how to mix sand and cement and dump it into a skeleton mold of a dinosaur. They were not that clever. See, I had been mistaken. I thought they had been that clever. But the dinosaur fossils were... the ones they were creating were only made out of plastic, rubber...
20 seconds left on the hype train, 59% to level 5.
Styrofoam. They were not that clever. And like I said, they are never actually excavating, digging. They are only posing in those videos and pictures pretending to be excavating and digging.
Thanks for level 4 hype, everyone.
Dinosaur fossils they're creating at warehouses and at the museums. And sometimes, yes, they do sell the dinosaur fossils to collectors. And when they do, most of the times they're going to mix cement. They're not going to. They may be using plastic and fiberglass and food.
You can buy replica fossils. You can buy real fossils. Honestly, they're expensive. But yeah, you can buy fossil replicas, but that doesn't mean fossils are fake. What do you think they're replicas of? They're literally replicas made with molds from the original, or in some cases they might be artistic interpretations of a specific kind of fossil based on a real find. Like, it's a thing. Like, I have a fake fossil recreation thing. Like, I think they're cool. Like, they're not misleading. They tell you that it's a mold, that it's like a recreation.
And the collector. None of the dinosaur fossils you see at the museums are actually made out of sandstone. The museum actually have confessed that the dinosaur fossils that you see at the museums are actually made out of styrofoam, plastic, and fiberglass.
Most of them, but there are situations where they have the actual fossils on display. I think the Chicago Museum of Natural History has a real dinosaur fossil skeleton on display.
The main reason for that is that they actually never knew how to create sandstone fossils out of cement and sand. They couldn't. But they may know now because I have revealed the method of doing it. They could also sculpt it, but it would take a long time, and sculpting something out of sandstone is labor-intensive work. It would take hours, but they're not going to do that. So, as you can see, the science...
KBS says, Field Museum, the T-Rex is a real skeleton, but the skull is shown separately.
This community has been lying, deceiving the public.
You want to be a paleontologist?
Come from all over.
Any depicting
Lucian and
next thing that happened.
Anti-dinosaur people are weird.
Breaking news. Elon is saving the world with a Twitter file.
First name Bunch of Numbers says, I know the Field Museum has the actual skull for Sue on display. It's separate from the main display. Definitely recommended going there if you've ever have the opportunity.
Everybody wants to know what Elon knows, so we're going to his Twitter page to figure out what's going on with Elon, who's taking on the system, who's exposing the New World Order. Elon looks like he might be on our side. He brought Trump back. We might win because of Elon. Elon should run for president. What better way?
Elon can't run for president in the United States. He's not he's not a... He's a naturalized citizen, not a birthright citizen. Yeah, that's it.
To run for president.
You have to be a birthright citizen in order to run for president in the United States. It's a constitutional thing.
Then to own Twitter. When you think about it. Elon, December 4th. The intelligence of this hive mind will improve. What? That sounds like assimilation. That kind of sounds like the Borg. I don't think that's what people came to see, but nothing like free advertisement. Get your brain chip today. Elon Industries will save you. Can't wait for the Tesla iRobot. That's coming soon. Elon, Trees of Thought. Congratulating his Twitter team. They must just love him over there. Okay, Elon says, should we pardon Assange and Snowden? Most people said yes. Elon's just telling me what I want to hear. Oh, Elon is thanking the advertisers. Looks like business is booming. Elon is happy.
Is this guy taking Elon at face value?
Where's the Twitter files? We saw the headlines. Hunter Biden. Human anywhere you go. It's like this Q kind of thing. Trust the plan. We'll tell you what you want to hear.
I'm pretty sure he's anti-Elon. I think he thinks Elon is controlled opposition.
It's real Hitler-like.
Yeah, you just called Elon Hitler, so... And I don't think Kanye made the video, so I assume it has a negative connotation. Bingo! That's the wrong link. This just gave me the link to, like, the card itself. You gotta give me the link at the top of your page. Yeah, JP Black may have won. Just need a link to your actual, like, bingo card. You gotta go to the top and copy paste. There we go. Nope. That's the same thing. Like, at the top of the page, like, your web address of your bingo card you gotta send. Because this just takes me, like, to the general card, you know? Like, this doesn't give me yours. This gives me... I wouldn't count that as PSYOP, because he wasn't claim. Well, no, because he thinks Elon is... Yes, that counts as PSYOP. I apologize. I had to think about that for a sec. That's the only link you can get on your phone. Shit. Okay, this is the one and only time I will do this. Because I trust you. You're in the chat all the time. Never... No, this won't count in the future. If you're on mobile and can't send me... Wait, it's this? I might be able to use this one. Control C. Control V. Yay, it worked! Okay, good. You weren't cheating. Hannah might die of laughter, thinly veiled anti-Semitism, free space, Hunter Biden. QAnon's claim is a source. You are correct. You are correct. That's good. Me trusting you would have paid off. That's nice. That's nice when that happens. JP Black wins bingo. I will write down your name since you already have a gift sub. JP Black 79 is today's bingo winner. Alright, we've been going for 3 hours. This was a good episode. This is a pretty good tinfoil episode. We got some good laughs, got some new tinfoil people. Overall, I think this was quite successful. So hooray. Glad everyone could be here for Tinfoil Tuesday, as always. It's really fun. I'll be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll do some Chud Watch stuff. Maybe I'll see if there's more crypto stuff. We'll figure something out. Either way, it'll be fun. Oh yes, I am supposed to remind... Can you give me a link to the channel? It would help. And then I will do the raid. I'm so jealous of Finster. Oh my god. Have you seen this person?
What's an Imgur link? I don't want to see if there's tons of...
Soft sit stream soon? Okay.
I do want to know what that is, though. Is it a 3D printer? Ooh. Ooh.
Finster is a cis... Finster is a cis guy. To be clear. Finster only dresses like this because his audience pays him to dress like this, and he just looks like that. That's just how he looks. Jealous. Anyway, let's... Alright, have a good evening, everyone. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And we'll hang out and have fun. So I'll see you guys then. Love you too, Mr. Blast. Adios.
Units? Indeed. It looks as if